I've said this before and I've said this once. I am just incredibly pumped for these games to start happening once again because of the fact that when we go to a lot of these collegiate rival series, I've been here once again. I'll be saying I've been here from the absolute start and seeing it now, how far we've come, getting some new amazing faces up in here, and we get an amazing production team. It is just something beautiful and amazing to see. And it is just more exciting teams coming along as well. And it is just amazing. And I'm just so excited for a lot of these games and to see what more comes after them.
Hey, perfectly said. I couldn't have said it better myself. And because I don't think you heard what I did say before, ladies and gentlemen, I am Daniil, also known as Better joined by the illustrious celebrities. Fantastic performance. We went to Mount Everest and searched through, found some scrolls with their names on it, and we just decided to go with them. So again, joined by Reezy and Taz, we have Montana State University versus CSUN going off against each other again in collegiate Marvel rivals. And you just told us exactly how you're feeling, and I want to hear about your co-caster. How are you feeling about the action that we are going to be going underway here tonight?
I'm very excited. We saw Matador's Red playing a couple weeks ago on CRS, and they've proved a good showing. I'm happy to be here. This is my first stream, first CRS.
Hell yeah!
So let's hope it goes well. But I'm just happy to be here, and I'm ready for the action.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we can sit here and talk about ourselves all day, but you don't really care too much about that. You are here for Marvel Rivals. Let's take a look at the standings of our teams and see how they've performed so far. This is where we are at in week 4. And gentlemen, how are you feeling about these numbers? I'm not a numbers guy. I want you to tell me how I should feel about these.
Well, I mean, Indiana Tech still being first, if I'm not mistaken, is just something that I think is not a surprise to a lot. I mean, ever since the first game that we saw them come in up against, if I'm not mistaken, was last season's winners, and being able to take them out in a really close and grueling fight, I'm not surprised to see them still taking up that first standing. I mean, no losses yet, and it's just insane. I mean, looking over at the Panthers now as well, those were the last season winners, and 22 standing. I mean, this is just something that's insane happening now, and I don't know. I want to see where this goes next.
Yeah, some
go for
thoughts here. If you also notice, UFT is also unbeaten. And a little side note, I actually played against UFT Avengers a couple months back. They are a strong team, nothing to laugh at. But I think the top table definitely has some potential to shake it up. No discredit to the bottom half either.
Yeah, I mean, the competition is fierce here. You said yourself that you had an opportunity to play against these teams, and I can't imagine the intensity that these teams bring. I actually had the pleasure of playing against a couple of these collegiate players myself. I'm a little bit of a legend, okay? You wouldn't know. It's a little bit of a hush-hush underground thing, okay? I retired so everyone else could get a chance to really explore the scene. So, everybody, you're welcome. But I know for sure with firsthand experience, in front of the desk, playing, and behind the desk, casting, observing, all sorts of stuff, that these games are remarkable. It is truly like watching a Marvel movie, except a little bit more exciting, a little bit more tactical. But, gentlemen, just overall, I am more excited to look at the individual level. Let's get these teams under a little bit of a microscope. Let's take a look at our first team here and see who is going to be fielding those rosters. We got Montana State University. We got Lady Lay, Arachnicadia, Nautilus, John Cario, Ewan, and Bacon Lord, looking good with their favorite heroes as their highlights, their signatures. What can you tell me about how you expect these guys to be playing here tonight?
Well, I gotta say, Captain America and Doctor Strange, you look at those two, and I don't really think those are two characters that you really think can coexist together, but then when you really dive into it, Captain America, of course, has that heavy dive side, and then Doctor Strange has the frontline capabilities. And what a lot of people don't know is flanking Doctor Strange. It's a thing. It's a thing. I've seen it before.
The guy can literally make portals. Why not? Yeah. Oh, you're bronze. Well, we're all bronze after one rank reset. That's my one gripe with this game. Like, I get to diamond, one rank reset later, boom, I'm bronze. Unbelievable.
Evil world.
Incredible.
Evil world.
It's twisted.
I mean,
But, ladies and gentlemen, we've given these guys enough of a spotlight. Let's see what their competition is going to be looking like. Here we have CSUN Matadors Red, and we got Groovy Chris, Mega Immortal, Eternity Eraser 2404, Swang, and Night Strike 49. Listen, I'm biased. I see Luna Snow. I see Psylocke. These are some of my favorite heroes to play. They have my heart, but will they have the game here, boys, just based off of their lineups? With at least their signature heroes, how are you favoring just their flavor overall against their opponents?
I mean, just looking at this lineup, they have a really strong backline with the duo of Luna Snow and Inviswoman. And as well as the tanks, you know, like both Strange and Thing have huge CC ultimates that can empower their team to make a good play. So like I know powering a Thing ult or a Strange ult, even with the Psylocke ult, can make for some devastating plays there. So just based on this alone, I think it's an interesting run.
That sounded personal. Have you had those experiences getting completely washed by that combination of heroes? Are you having flashbacks to those moments right now?
Unfortunately, yes. Back when I used to play, I was part of the backline. I'd play often Luna Snow or Invis. Oftentimes, I'd be the only one running free because I would try to ult out of the Thing or Strange ult to keep my team alive. But that is definitely a personal experience that I've gone through.
Well, we've had our fun. We've had our opportunity to speculate and dig into these players, their teams, their lineups. And now all we have to do is wait for the action. Guys, how are you feeling going into this series with what you've seen so far? You know, who are you expecting to see come out on top, and what kind of moments are you looking forward to the most?
I mean, for me, it's like I said before, right? I've been here from the start of the Collegiate Rival Series ever since our season 0, and it's just. This is something that I said the first time we were here with the Collegiate Rival Series. The first season we ever had, we saw it as CPP Infinite took it. And then the second one, FIU Panthers took it. And then now the third one, which I think is the one we're at right now. You know, memory is kind of fuzzy recently. I mean, you know, real quick, shameless plug, your boy did just graduate yesterday. So, you know what? Clap it up, yeah.
Good save, good save.
No one cares.
No, I care.
Not important.
No, we all care. We all care.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, it's just already the first game that we ever saw here in the Collegiate Rival Series was FIU Panthers going against Indiana, if I'm not right. If I'm not wrong. But what we saw already was just that to start the game, things have already just been going absolutely bonkers and insane. I was up here with Diatonic and Soren, and we were just baffled by the amount of cinema that was happening all over the entire part. It was just insane.
Absolutely. And hey, you know what, Taz, I'm more interested in what you have to say as a new fresh face here. Just tell me what impressions you've got from these teams, from this league so far, and how you feeling about going into it headstrong.
Yeah, this is my first stream, but that's not to say I haven't been watching the previous weeks of CRS. And one of the big takeaways is anything can happen, especially when you have placements so close, like Montana and CSU Matadors. They're 25 and 26 respectively. So one win can, I feel like, shake up the standings quite a bit, and I'm here for it. You know, I'm ready to see the action. Like I said, we saw Matadors a couple weeks back, and they had a good showing. We'll see what they bring to the table today.
Yes, the table is set. The table is full. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a look at the map bans. We are really getting close to the action here. They are deciding what the stage of war is going to be here. And if you look at the bans coming in, if we're looking at the maps being selected, I'm getting some tingles going up my spine. I'm getting some flashbacks to, to some key moments. I have some very strong opinions on some maps in this game. The one we're seeing down there, that is one I have maybe the strongest opinion on. I do not like playing on it, but maybe they do. We'll have to wait and see how they're going to play through. What are you guys looking to see? What do you guys personally have against some of the maps in this game, and which ones are you maybe excited to see how these players fare against some of these terrains?
Well, I will say, you know, heading over to Burning T'Challa, it's a strange map, of course. Ever since from the beginning of the game, I always was kind of really mixed. I was a huge fan, but also a huge hater from it. Mainly because I think one day I died because the entire roof collapsed on me in Waterfall, which is the map that we see down there. It wasn't fun. But the number one most hated map for me definitely has got to be Royal Palace, which is actually kind of surprising for a lot of people. Like, I thought, like everyone was in the same club with me. Like, yeah, no, we don't like Royal Palace. But then like, oh no, my favorite map is Royal Palace. And I'm just sitting like, oh yeah, me too.
No, I gotta
like it.
I gotta agree with you there. I'm not a fan of Royal Palace. That map, well, when taken out of the competitive pool, I could not express how happy I was.
You're just screaming to the heavens.
Honestly, I have had really, really bad experiences with that map. But also as well as the Wakanda map Waterfall. I'm not a fan of it, but I do dislike Royal Palace a bit more.
Yeah. So, boys, before we get into the chaos that's going to ensue, I want to know if you're using your Eye of Ashanti, if you're using your prediction skills, who do you think is taking this series overall?
See, me personally, and I got my own biased reason for this. We'll get into that just a little bit later, but I gotta say, I think Montana State is gonna be taking this one.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely on board with you. I think Montana State is definitely looking pretty good going into the series. I'll have to go with them as well. But Taz, the floor is yours. Who do you think's taking this one?
I gotta be the outlier here. I'm going for Matadors. 2 versus 1. I don't think it's quite fair, but I'm a back the Matadors. See how they hold up against Montana.
Yeah, hopefully they back you too. Back you into a victorious corner, and you guys can come out swinging together joyfully. But hey, 2-1, those odds are very good for you if you end up winning. You'll get double your prediction bonus, which is a total of nothing. So you will get at least double the pride. I think that's worth something at the very least. Pride is you can't buy pride. Okay.
I get the bragging rights.
Yes, you get the bragging rights. But boys, it's been fun. It's been fun divulging and discerning exactly what we think is going to be happening in this series. But it's only a matter of time before we find out. One last time, how are you feeling before we start this series?
I'm just so pumped. I'm excited. Rivals is just, I think, a game that's hype. And it's also, you can just see how calculated it is. And once again, I'll say this probably every time I'm on here on broad. These are college students.
Mm-hmm.
They got classes that they gotta do. They got homework.
Tuitions to pay.
All of this jazz. Tuitions to pay. Oh no, debt. Oh God, don't even get me started. I still gotta clear my debt.
Absolutely. But we're going into the game now, guys. I hope you have a fantastic series, and let's get this one underway.
Get this way underway, indeed. But oh man, the mention of debt already has me going absolutely crazy. But that is going to be something that I'm going to have to worry about myself in another day, as here we are jumping in straight into the game, burning T'Challa domination. And already, I mean, one thing that I want to talk about earlier is, like I said, I am kind of biased over on Montana State's side, because as we look over there, the current Thor hover Arachnadia is studying paleontology. And so, you know what? That is incredibly cool and incredibly awesome. And a quick fun fact, they have acted as Jesus twice.
Wow, I can see your bias towards them. But yeah, coming in here, we have 2 bans on both teams coming out. Strange ban and Angela ban on the side of going against Matadors, and then Rocket ban as well, and a Protect for of Emma for Matadors. They want to keep that.
I will say, Angela ban is something that I haven't really seen at all lately. I mean, Doctor Strange, of course, is a band that we've seen climb up into the ranks in a lot of these stages. Because I mean, you pan out the Strange, you ban out that TP in case everything goes wrong. So you say you're at 99%. Oh no, they got a Strange TP in. They have another chance of a fight. But you ban out that Strange, you take away that kind of last resort and last stand that they could possibly have. And of course, you have the Land Shark as well. Kind of like a little bit of a yin and yang with the Strange, I think. You use the Strange ult to get that last fight, but you use the Jeff ult to kind of a little bit negate that fight, because as we saw earlier, those watching Ignite, we saw probably one of the best Jeff ultis ever happening with 100 Thieves, and it was just bizarre. But you know what? We aren't here to talk about Ignite. We're here to talk about the Collegiate Rival Series.
Yeah, and now coming in with the bans against Montana State. Interesting second ban, sorry. Ultron and Bucky. Bucky's a strong pick. He's been played a lot recently. He has a very, very dominant presence. But I'm interesting to see the Ultron ban. I don't feel like he only works really well in triple healer meta. And then you see the Luna ban. What are your thoughts?
See, Ultron ban coming in and burning T'Challa, I think it's a bit weird, because like Ultron is just one of those champions that I think has worked greatly before, was a little bit, I'm not going to say overbusted when it came out, but maybe just slightly overtuned in terms of the capabilities. Like I feel like Ultron as a support himself wasn't really, that strong, but the amount of versatility that he could bring into a fight, being able to put a drone on someone, and I don't even want to get started on the Human Torch Wombo combo. You run a Sue, you get that team up, and you get a Luna, put a Snowflake, and then an Ultron, you put a drone. The Human Torch is not going to die at all, but it is just something that it's insane. And going on to this first point, I mean, Ultron works, I think, really well here, but Rage of Ultron also being an incredibly strong ultimate too. I mean, I can see many reasons why to ban Ultron, but if I'm going to be honest, in my personal opinion, I think there were many other bans that could have been a little bit better, but that's something that we're just going to have to see coming into this first map as the point has opened.
Maybe the Matadors know something that you don't, Rezi, in terms of that Ultron ban. But yeah, coming in here now, we see on the side of Matadors, they're running the Cap Venom with the Jeff, possibly a full dive and a BP, looking for that very aggressive diving backline, trying to harass the healers. On the side of Montana, we see a little bit more balance coming in with that Emma and Thing pick, as well as Psylocke and Bucky. They're going to have that advantage on the Bucky play.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Bucky, I think, is just one that is just always going to be really in that strong situation because of the ability that he can bring, being able to disposition the enemies and also just completely wipe them out. A hook into an uppercut, disposition, and then you just...
Oh, and E1, Black Panther gets a kill on against Montana State, sorry. Already bringing the fight down into Matador's favor.
Yeah, I think things are just going to be moving up pretty slowly now.
On 2 for Matador's fall now, as one of them dies by the invis push. And now it just looks like Montana's cleaning house on Matadors, pushing them back into spawn. And they're going to get an easy first cap on this point, giving them an advantage to start with.
Yeah, no, that's going to be able to crack them up a decent amount of percentages now. And with a clean swipe coming in, Matadores, I mean, we saw Matadores black. So I'm going to be really interested to see how the red team is going to perform here. But the Black Panther, I think, is definitely going to be the deciding factor because, Black Panther, of course, I think being a kind of one that's like a lot of people didn't expect to be as strong as he was. But I mean, look at you already, Montana State pushing him on back and going to be able to start taking up the space. It's going to be a really toughest position to be.
They're really trying to deny his value, although he does get a pick on the Bucky. And Matador's red fall from they lose one of their tanks. They probably have to take it easy now, let them recoup and see what they can do. We do have some ultimates coming online. We do have the Thing ult as well as the Bucky ult with an Invis ult coming up soon from Montana State. Venom ult does come online for Matador's red. Might be looking for a play here.
Yeah, play definitely could be happening here as we saw already. Eternal Bond going to be coming up from Eternity to be able to get a lot of more space secured. I mean, Montana, they're just standing a really comfortable spot and they're just wiping out Matadors one by one. I mean, it's a really tough spot for you to be in because you're not going to be able to get the insights. We do have the Venom ultimate available, and we saw how strong it has been now, especially with the healing version coming in onto it now. Ult economy looking great on both sides, though. It's going to be a rough retake. 25% already clocked in over Montana State. Matadors have to try and find a quick, clean area to try and sweep in. Maybe a Venom dive onto the next like that. But one of the biggest issues with dive when it's a Bucky is, as we see on Captain America here, it's going to make things tough. It's going to be forced to pop that freedom charge. And the Venom ulti is also going to get canceled. Beast of the Abyss not going to be able to pop up by anyone as here Night Strike dishing out a lot of damage. But with the freedom charge, is going to give Captain America just a little bit of extra damage. But now it's Psionic Seduction being popped up from Swan. Going to be able to use with Lady Lay with an invisible boundary as well, forcing out that ultimate to happen. And they're going to be moving up pretty steadily now.
Yeah, here comes out the Manda's ult with the Jeff ult. I don't know if he got anyone. Jeff falls with that.
I don't believe he did.
No, but Jeff falls and the Bucky gets 2. Thing getting 3. Montana State is just cleaning up Matadors. They've all used their ult, but the Thing ult is coming online here for Montana State. He might want to hold it for next point, and that is going to be a clean sweep fight for Montana State here on first point in T'Challa. Kind of a powerhouse move from Montana State, not letting Matadors get even a touch or even 1%. But now we have point 2 waterfall point Let's see if Matadors decide to switch anything up.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to have to be that kind of situation. You know, I mean, we've seen this happen a lot before, especially on domination. One team, they seem like they're having such a huge advantage, but then, you know, at the end of the day, it just realized that the first team is just actually just feeling them out, trying to figure out how things are going. We've seen it happening, like, especially against Indiana Tech versus Nebraska, not missing up that one that time. That was the right matchup, but this happens a lot. And it's just a repeat when it comes to these dominations maps. Like, I see a lot of 100% to 0 on both sides, and there's always the third one that gets so incredibly close. So I think we're gonna have to see if Matadors are gonna be able to kind of keep that cycle going. Maybe see if they can get a clean 100% wipe on it this time. Does look like there is a small switch coming in. They got the Punisher and the Scarlet Witch now, and Scarlet Witch is something that we haven't seen a lot in a lot of these games. Like, probably the most least played hero, contrary to, like, you know, the Black Widow, of course. But with the team up in the Doctor Strange, we might see if maybe it can prove something useful. But a hook almost hitting onto the Punisher. The thing is just going to get completely wiped out as Nautilus is going to start this off. Mega Immortal not going to be able to really tank as much now. It's going to have to be able to push back. And this is a lot of space taken. Matadores going to be able to claim that first point now.
And that's a huge pick for Matadors. They're able to not only kill one of their tanks, but the tank who has ultimate, a huge CC stunning ult. But he is back in the fight now. Matadors are able to take point and hold it. Now let's see how they hold this choke point, because you can easily flank around and kind of catch the team off surprise. But here comes the hook. E1 from Strange is holding point. He now has his ultimate online. Ult economy looking kind of balanced on both sides. We'll see how they play out. Oh, here comes the thing ult. He gets 2-1 with Nautilus. Can he make a play? Here comes the Bucky ult.
Huge ult coming in from the thing. Clobbering Time going to be able to get a good stun, and then Cracking Impact coming in from playing is going to be able to get a decent amount of kills. Gets a double by the looks of it. Then he's finding his way onto the Venom. Going to be able to take him out. Shield not going to be enough to tank it out, but he might be able to swing his way on out off the map by the looks of it. Oh my. All right, yeah. Playing with Bree has nothing else to do except just watch as the Venom falls to his demise.
I mean, that way they don't, like, it's smart from the Venom. He doesn't give Bucky his reset. He managed to wait out the Cracking Impact timer. So that is a positive for Matadors here. But now Montana State have reclaimed their dominance on point. Matadors are coming and dropping in from high. Punisher ult coming through, looking to kill someone. Incoming the Psylocke ult as well. Getting one, and in comes the...
It is just an ult after ult after ult. I see shiny Q button and I press it. Not button, I meant button, but already Psionic Seduction now coming in from Swank. Gonna be able to try and look for something up in the backline. Does find the Invisible Woman, and that is a last pick coming in from Montana State, and they'll be able to get even more percentages. And I mean, that was just insane. We saw Jarn try to come in from the top with the Final Judgment, but okay. And there goes, you know, just once again, you know, honestly, you do that, you know, otherwise you're dead either way. So that's a small tech that I see a lot of people do over here in Burning T'Challa. You know, like, if you're in a bad spot, you're about to die, just jump off the map. You don't get staggered. You don't get staggered, and you're going to be sitting pretty comfortably, because, you know, getting staggered, especially in a losing position, is the last thing that you want. But Venom, Feast of the Abyss, is going to be able to come up. Is going to be able to get 3 of them by the looks of it. That's going to be healing reduction, but look at John Cario coming from the back with the shotgun. He's going to be able to take down Playing with Bree. Clobbering Time is available. The Yancy Haymaker is going to go ahead and get a last kill onto Lady Lay. And Nautilus is going to be able to look for Doctor Strange now as well. Going to try and whip him on back, but he jumps into the middle of the team, and that's going to put him in a bad spot. Going to take him out. Venom as well, still trying to hold a line. Maybe see if he can try and hit the overtime, but I mean, it is just not looking good. There's the Scarlet Witch. Reality Erasure is going to be used on the backline. He tried to try and block it, but it does get 1.
And the Bucky playing with fire is able to get that Scarlet even after he ults. But now Matadors are in a failing position. They are in overtime. They're losing the touch point. Invis might try and touch. Invis's ult comes on point for Matadors. He gets 3, trying to make a play with it, but Think does ult counter him, stuns him again. Incoming the Psylocke ult from Montana State. He gets 2, and it's looking like they're cleaning up. Matt trying to keep on point, and that is a clean sweep from Montana State. That is 2 points, and that is domination win in their favor.
Yeah, Montana State not coming in to play any games at all, as already they're taking it out 1 by 1. That is going to be the first match completed. Montana State are going to be going on with a 1-0. And MVP coming in over to Eternity. I mean, definitely well-deserved. A lot of decent plays coming in. A lot of good ults also coming in. Montana State just doing a great job of utilizing their ultimates at every opportunity that they got, making sure that every time they used it, they guaranteed something. I mean, we saw a little crack and impact play coming in from playing with Bree earlier, and it was just an absolute massacre coming in from Montana State.
Yeah, and credits to Mega Immortal on that second point had the foresight and the positioning to target Matador's backline, killing both healers, rendering the rest of the team without any support, and making it easy to clean up. And this was not done once, but multiple occasions. He was able to penetrate that backline and get some free picks on Matadors, which made it a lot easier for them.
That was a fantastic display of skill from these players. Listen, looking at the lineups, looking at the scores, looking at the result, I cannot say I'm anything less than impressed. And you guys, you were right there in the battlefield with them. It felt like hearing you guys talking back and forth over it. Listen, I'm biased. I love to see an MVP going to a support. I think it was well deserved. Eternity played super well on the Cloak and Dagger, and with that domination kind of just like wrapping up just like that, you know, you blink and you miss it. We're going into game 2. How do you think that we could see Montana State adjust their gameplay to kind of counteract and respond to the aggression that they just faced?
Yeah, I just realized it looks like, okay, first off, I want to apologize. I think I got things a little mixed up. I think it was actually Matadors that actually took that first game. I think if I'm not wrong, I think the graphic was a little bit messed up, but that's all right. But yeah, I think Matadors did take up that first game. But Montana State, like I said, are going to have to try and come up with a way to maybe try and shift things up and try and get a comeback going now. But you know what? I don't know. I'm a little confused. I'm trying to figure out what happened, if I'm right.
I think you are right. I think the graphic was a little bit on the flip side, but I am checking here the players list, and it does look like Matadors was the one who actually 2-0'd Montana State. So so far, my prediction is looking bright. But
you smug fella, you. Listen, it's not over yet.
It's not over yet. There's always map 2 and potentially map 3. But like, I'm at a loss for words. Like the display that Matadors showed to on the forefront, like push out Montana State and dominate certain positions and push them out of a chance to even retaliate, is something that they did masterfully. In terms of what can Montana State do to retaliate, I think they have to change the way they approach things. Maybe potentially even run a different comp, because I think we saw for most of it they're running a 2-2-2. Maybe you experiment with free support backline, more sustain. But it's really they have to adapt to the, I guess, aggression, like you said, that Matadors brought.
Yeah, I mean, you really touched on something. My favorite element of these kinds of events, okay? It's really just breaking down and thinking about how these teams can adjust and adapt to the upcoming challenge before them. And I think the onus is on them to really decide their fate, how they want to respond, how they want to engage with their team. But the next map has been decided, and that is Spider Island. We're going to be going to the future, boys. And on this map, in this circumstance, do you think that any team has a particular advantage based on what you saw in their gameplay styles?
I have to say, this is something that I see a lot. With a lot of teams, you know, I think the comps that we saw were definitely very domination heavy. So I think with kind of the layup that we saw coming in from Montana State, I feel like they're more convoy and also convergent sided team comps. So I think they are going to be able to do a little bit of a better performance here, because I think their comp just I forgot the right terminology for it. English is a very hard language.
True.
But they just can coexist together.
Synergistic.
You know? There we go. That was
a walking lexicon. But yeah, I think the different compositions that teams offer are definitely a big factor in your success, depending on the game mode that you're playing. You know, one composition is not as good on domination as it is on convoy, and I think the compositions that we saw in the first map are, like you said, very domination heavy. I'm very interested to see how they're going to change their lineups to adjust to the new game mode here. But overall, I still feel like, just based off of the heroes that we did see picked out, I think we might be seeing a pretty similar result.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, on domination, the comps vary differently. I guess the main goal for domination is you want to be really brawl heavy because a lot of fights happen center of point. But now going to Spider Islands, you have those long hallways. You have potential for poke comps or maybe even dive comps with those flanking routes. So we'll see how the teams adapt to the different game modes.
For
I know
sure.
I can speak from experience that I'm not a Dom fan. I do like Convoy more than anything, and I do think Convoy favors the supports as well because that gives them a lot of escape routes and chances to, I guess, sustain it for the team.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've talked enough. Okay, let's give these players a chance to really reconvene. We'll be going to a quick break before we start up the action here on Spider Island. Don't go anywhere. We might get caught in a web or two. Stay tuned.
Don't you go? You make my every cell flow, my every breath slow and cold. Yeah, that's how you make me feel I'm yours. You bring me up when I hear only radio static. Play me a song on repeat. Right now, you hit me like chemicals. I doubt I'll ever gonna let you go. To come down feels like a bitter antidote. Never let go, never let go, no. Right now, hit me like chemicals. Right
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here with CRS, and thank you for your patience. We're going into Spider Island. I don't want to delay it any more than we already have. Do you guys want to delay it any more than we already have? I don't think so. Let's just keep going. Let's just keep going until the spiders come home. Guys, that last game was fantastic. Break it down for me. Tell me what you loved. Tell me what you didn't love so much and what you're looking to love in this upcoming game. Take it away, boys. Come on.
Yeah, last
I
game.
mean,
Oh,
ooh, sorry. You
love
go
it.
first. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you, my bad. Last game, I can say confidently, I'm happy that the Matadors backed my prediction. But that aside, I think I called it out earlier. We noticed some really good positioning from Mega Immortal on the thing, being able to identify the isolated supports from the side of Montana and being able to pick them off, rendering Montana side without healing, making it very easy for them to claim point. And we saw that on first point as well. The tanks just standing in such an oppressive stance, being able to deny any real value to coming onto point and domination.
Absolutely. Hey, Reezy, you look like a man with a lot to say. Say it. Go ahead. I won't stop you.
See, a little bit of a mix-up that was happened, just real quick, just to confirm. All right, for those who maybe saw a little snippet and then jump back, the Matadors did win that one, and contrary to Matadors Black, which is a team that I think I'm more in tune with. From I know more about Black than Red. I mean, Red already is just coming in hot, just doing a great performance already, starting it off, and just a pretty clean sweep, living up to their name, Matadores, and just killing everything, making the moves, making the schmoves, getting things done. Mega Immortal probably is immortal. I mean, dude was rocking it with the thing. I mean, that was just amazing to see. And you know what? I'm kind of angry now because I think I'm 0% for my predictions right now.
God, I mean, I think players are going to start paying you to just predict the opposite of the outcome that they want. It's a good, valid career move. I support you in that endeavor, and I hope that you find a lot of success, and I hope you can at least give me a percentage of your revenue. I can be your agent. I can be your agent. But guys, like you said, there's so much. The thing, he's got big shoulders. He can carry a lot on those shoulders. Pointing out Mega Immortal, his playstyle, and how it really afforded a lot of opportunities for their team. Is there anybody that you saw that, besides Mega Immortal, that you think might be the X factor in the upcoming game mode? Because we, before the break, talked about how different Domination is versus Convoy and how the team compositions can really lend you to success in one more than the other. And of course, I think the Thing is definitely a very strong Domination hero. Now, based off of what we saw in the players we saw in the previous one, who do you think will be able to kind of shine more in Convoy compared to Domination?
I gotta say, we saw Playing with Brig do an insane amount of plays with the Kraken Impact on the Winter Soldier, so I gotta go with them.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'm a little bit biased as a support player myself, but you did call it out that Eternity got the MVP, so I'm gonna put a little bit of credit to the supports. Maybe Eternity, maybe Eraser for the side of Matadores, but no disrespect to the playing with for the Bucky.
Well, boys, it was a pleasure. It was an honor. We'll see on the battlefield. All questions will be answered. Let's see this upcoming game. Oh, what? Before we see that, who's your favorite Marvel hero?
Yo, Spider-Man, hold on. Yo, y'all haven't seen this yet, I think. Hold on, let me move it. Look at that. Y'all see that?
Woo! Woo! That's cool.
Reezy
like that.
got a full
Fire.
Spider-Man suit.
He
hanging
might
in the
actually
I
be
made that.
Spider-Man.
You
You
made
made it.
that.
I made that.
Are you
Very
like,
impressive.
are you some kind of like artisan? Okay, no, never mind. All questions will be answered about that Spider-Man suit later. Questions will be answered about the game right now as you go into game 2.
All right, and here we go. Now jumping into the game, and I think things are definitely going to be a little bit different. Now, I will say, I think Montana State, might be a little bit more in favor because the fun fact coming in from one of their substitutes, Wolfbone, I love Spider-Man. So maybe the spirit of Wolfbone will come in onto Montana State's side and will give them an extra little boost jumping in over the Spider Islands. But talk about the first couple of bans, they're going to be both supports. Montana State is going to go ahead and ban out that Jeff. And then over on Matador side, they're going to get the Rocket out.
Yeah, they're gonna keep that Emma Protect with her dominating presence, but on the side of Montana, they are gonna ban out that Bucky that we saw playing with Bree, pulled out last map, who was really oppressive with it, and they are gonna protect Luna Snow, which I believe got banned out last map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe so, but of course, Emma Protect, you know, one thing we saw coming from last game was Swang. Coming in with the Emma Frost, does have that Lord as well, and just completely tearing everything up. I mean, we saw the seductions coming in and just really coming in clutch in a lot of these pivotal moments. I mean, being able to catch out roaming supports, you know, especially up in that waterfall map. You know, we saw the Invisible One was trying to run away, but was just easily caught up with the Emma Frost ultimate. So, you know, it definitely makes sense. But now coming in, also some pretty targeted bans are happening now. I mean, over on Montana State side, of course, you mentioned the Bucky, but now we see the Thing as well. And they're going to be protecting Penny Parker, which honestly is something that I don't see happen a lot. Now, of course, they're not going to have that Rocket team up, but I think Spider Islands, you know, Penny can kind of work, but she's just kind of been very underwhelming in terms of power compared to, you know, other options that you could possibly go in. But definitely, once again, a lot of more targeted bans coming in on both sides.
For sure. And I would say you never want to write off a Penny. She can always, in the good hands, she's always very annoying with that very short stun. But now on the side of Matadors, you see the Psylocke Protect for Night Strike probably. He was going off last game, farming his ult quite fast and being able to put it to good use. Oftentimes getting 1, 2, if not more kills with it on the waterfall and other point. And then you see the Angela ban, something we saw last map. Is again, like you said, Angela ban is not very common. I wonder if Matadors are concerned with her playstyle as a whole. Maybe it's a counter to their team, maybe something they don't want to deal with, but why risk it, right? Just ban it if you have that option.
Yeah, you know, my thing about Angela and something that I always talk about is, you know, when I first played Angela, like I haven't been playing Rivals a lot, you know, with the new Marvel Rival Zombies PvE. I mean, you know, I've been kind of on that grind now, but I played a little bit of Angela, and the way that I kind of saw her, or at least my playstyle with her, was just be an annoying mosquito. I run in, grab, run away, knock back, and then I just do it all over again, over and over again. So, you know, maybe that's something that they're not really used to just yet. I'm not really sure, but hopefully we get to see the Angela coming from Matadores one day, because I really want to see what makes it so terrifying that you want to use a ban on it.
And now on the side of Montana, we are seeing a group Penny tank combo starting here. I wonder if they're going to try and make them play with a Groot Walls paired with the Penny stuns. But Groot is an overall very strong pick, and we are going to go in here. 3 seconds to go, and on the side of Matadors, we do see that Strange and Emma combo coming out. But playing with Bree, no on the Bucky since it is banned. He is going for Phoenix. See how that comes out.
Yeah, you know, definitely, I can see Groot and Penny, you know, definitely gonna be a really... Oh, look at the Bucky hook coming from Eowyn! Oh, and already get a nice pick onto Eraser.
Already cleaning out the invis. That's one support down for the side of Matadors. They gotta play a little bit more carefully now. They are back in line. This one is right here, but they don't care for that. Happen and leave them in
I mean, this is why you want to be really careful when there's a Bucky. I mean, already Montana State put in a great performance. I mean, their lockdown comp that they got, I think, is actually really nice. And it's probably just the thing that we talked about earlier, you know, just the comps will definitely be in Montana State's favor when it comes to combo, because domination is just insane. But look at that, another hook coming in, and gonna get the kill onto Night Strike. E1 is just insane on the Bucky already. I mean, this is why you want to make sure you either get the Bucky out or it's just bizarre.
Already putting that Bucky ban into good work. Montana State has the advantage here, having Bucky online versus Matadors. They don't have that online. They are unable to make use of that. Montana State already putting that to good use. The Groot is able to wall off tanks, and he has gotten a few kills with that. And John Cario gets a kill on the swing, leaving Montana. Not my fault. Matadors down 1 and down 2 with another tank. Mega and Moro goes down on the Emma Frost. They are down 2 tanks, but they're also Montana State too much match impact along with the group. Maybe the combo there, and they have a lot of ults coming online. Both teams have almost all 6 ults coming up. Maybe they'll make a first team start ulting out.
Yeah, no, can most definitely see it. I mean, ult economy, of course, is looking great on both teams. E1 is just going to be going absolutely berserk, but here's the Eternity with the Eternal Bond. Is he going to be popped out? Matching up with another one. Full support also coming on Matador's side with also Psionic Seduction to just protect it. A little bit of a misplay coming from Montana. You don't really want to use those full support ultimates at the same time, but there's that strength. And it's going to be a 5-2 and a match with a Kraken impact. Going to be used with a Dance of Earthfly and Eternal Bond coming in over onto Matador's side. That's a double kill on Night Strike, and there's that Penny Mind Sweeper going in, but it's going to get shut down immediately by Swang, and then a Jeff ultimate. I see shiny Q button, I press it. Now here's Night Strike, gonna try and get the Jeff. It does find 2, but I don't think Jeff really knows where to go here. He's just gonna shoot him on back and have to try and run away.
What a play from Matador. They were able to counter Montana's ultimate quite masterfully, and Spooky falls finally from playing B. That is quite a stagger inside of Montana. But now Matador are able to make progress. They do still have a Strange Out online and Phoenix ult. Maybe they're looking for a combo there potentially. But what a play from Matador.
That's much better.
What Montana threw at them.
Yeah, it's something that we're definitely gonna be able to see here.
Oh, and E1 falls from the Strange. Montana State is down. Their means, yes, I would say, and now Nautilus falls from the side of Montana, from the hands of Mega Immortal. Matador's all down. Here comes the Strange Ult. Phoenix Ult coming in. He's able to get 1-2 on John Cario. The Brute's hanging on, but he is cleaned up by playing with green. Nice able to hit Lady Lay on the Magneto. Strange is now holding on point, but he inevitably falls at the hands of Strange. Jeff is now just hanging on, seeing if he can stall. And he's able to stall, being annoying under the water. Oh, and he gives his team enough time to come back. Mega Mortar coming out with the ult here.
Oh my day, it is just insane. I mean, Matador's black, you know, Matador's red, I mean, my apologies, you know, they're having such a really rough start, but then just that one fight, when all the ultimates were used, they were to pick up that tempo and just start sweeping the floor on Montana State. You know, and obviously, you know, like we saw earlier, you know, that Doctor Strange portal coming in for a little bit of a last-ditch effort, you know, to try and get that defense coming in. Unfortunately, it did not work out for Montana State, but there are going to be a couple swaps happening now. We do see the Magneto has been locked in for Lady Lay, so obviously he's going to try and negate a lot of the damage coming in. But the Song Inferno into the Eye of Agamotto play was just the last bullet that Matadors needed to secure that first point, and they're going to be swiftly making their way onto the second one.
Oh, and falls Night Strike from the hands of E1. That's already down to pick. Montana State. Mega Immortal is able to counter against Lady Lay, pushing him off the map. They are even in numbers now. Ult economy is kind of in favor of Matador. Maybe they see to ultimate. Phoenix getting low from E1. E1 picks off another DPS. Now Montana State have here to grab an impact on Mega Immortal. Hits them Frost, gets a restun. Jeff eats it. Just gets the elbow, spits him out.
It is just an insane fight coming in now for E1. It's just doing an impeccable amounts of performance, impeccable amounts of damage, and it's just finding his way onto everyone, getting all of these headshots, and also the Kraken impact coming in at the last moment. Gonna be able to get a last secure, and they're gonna be able to get a good hold here now. Like you were saying, ult economy is looking pretty good on Matador's side, but with the ultimates that were used there, Eternal Bond was obviously used to try and save onto the Amorphos. I think it was just not enough. Then Groot now is gonna be trying to look for a good position to get a good strength. Physical in. There's a Dance Up Butterfly coming in onto the back line now. Is gonna be able to get 1, is gonna be able to 2, 3, almost gonna get 4. Gonna see if we can get maybe a quadra kill coming over here from Night Strike, and he does a quadra kill.
What
to finish things off.
Play from Matadors, able to combo the Emma Frost ultimate with the Psylocke ultimate in order for a quick, nice and easy cleanup. They do have 40 seconds here on the clock, but they are hopefully going to get this reset now. Oh, someone is held at 2.3 meters. In comes the Dagger ult. My apologies. Strange maybe looking for an ult of his own, but he's holding out. Here comes the good ult. Plus the Riva's ult from the side of Matador.
Yeah, all ultimates are just going to start being used here. We saw Striking being used, and a Meteor M also coming in from Lady M, but there's a crack in the back. The Eye of Agamotto coming in. Is going to be able to fight 4 of them as Matadors with a big ult coming from Swang, but now cracking it back coming in from E1. Going to try and look for something. Is going to try and get the Emma Frost, but the shield was just too much as Night Strike is there to finish it off, and there's that second point completed.
Yeah, now Matadors do get that time refresh. They are now at 1 minute 30. It looked like for a moment there that Matadors was going to be able to Montana State was going to be able to push Matadors off. However, they were able to clean up with their ult and combo. Yeah.
they're just going to be moving at a pretty good tempo now. Just 1 minute left is 1 minute is left on the clock for Matadors Red, but with the way that they're playing right now, I think they are going to be able to go in and make it, as it's just they're on a swift momentum. They got the momentum, they got the tempo, they got everything that they need. As there's that choke slam going to come in and push both tanks out of position there, but Emma's just going to take it out by Ewan once again. I mean, this guy is just getting an immense amount of damage onto everybody when he needs to. Now, there's that Ensong Inferno being used, I think, but it was canceled.
The value that Ewan's able to get off this Bucky is proving its worth. Matadors not having that Bucky online is probably proving difficult for them. But we'll see. Oh, and Ewan falls! In comes the Butterfly Strike from Nice Strike. Gets two, and Mega Immortal and Swang are able to clean up the rest. The ultimate from Mega Immortal does come live. However, A-Swang was able to keep, and now Matadors are in a good position to push. They do have 16 seconds left on the clock. They do have the Eye of Agamotto plus the Phoenix ult online. Invis ult is coming up soon. Versus Montana State does have that Luna ult and Mantis ult coming up as well. And Groot and... Oh, there goes... Swang falls! That is no longer Eye of Agamotto online. Jeff killed. In comes Luna ult. Invis ult. All ults are coming in. Groot ult's coming in. He gets 3.
Coming in. Crack and Impact now going to try and finish things off. There's that Ensong Inferno going to be able to get a double kill. Emma Frost also gets a double kill, but here's the Eye of Agamotto going to be popped in. Going to get that Magneto and is going to try and look for E1 as well. That is going to be a team ace coming in, and Matadors Red are going to go ahead and secure that first point with 3, putting Montana State on the defense.
Yeah, and what a performance from Matadors. They were able to, for a moment, we thought they would have lost point at just right on the entrance of second point, but they were able to clean it up and in a minute 30 be able to push and claim all 3 points on Spider Islands. Now Montana does have an uphill battle against them. If you're Montana State, how do you counter what you just saw from Matadors? At one minute you're holding them quite well, and the next they just get momentum and you think you had them, but then they're able to come back and push all the way to point number 3.
Yeah, it was just, it's just one of those things that at the start we saw Montana State, they had such a great hold onto Montgomery, onto Matadors Red, and they were just able to just hold them in line. But it was just that one fight, that one ult fiesta that just happened. I was just able to secure the tempo onto Matadors Red to be able to push on through and just be able to secure all the points that they needed with the right time. Now, they did reach over to overtime, so it is going to be really close. And it's going to set them to a minute if Montana State managed to get all the way to the end. But it's something that we're definitely going to have to see. I mean, look at this shot right here. We just know we're in for absolute cinema now going in. This is a match point for Matadors Red. So Montana State really need to get something going on to take this over to game 3. But now a Swang going to go with Dr. Brain's Cheese. Not really going to work out as they do take a different route. But here's going to be the start of the game.
Yeah, to the side of Montana, we do see they have some spinches. A1 no longer on that Bucky. He is now opted for the Namor. Coming Spooky coming out with Scarlet Witch, and our Quinadia almost falls on the side of Montana. A1 putting in work though. Oh, Mega Immortal gets 2! Both tanks for the side of Montana are down from the hands of Mega Immortal. Now putting Montana State on the backside. There goes another nice strike, able to clean up Nautilix, and Eternity able to get a kill on Spooky, forcing Montana State for a hard reset here.
Yeah, I mean, already Matadors are just in great timing. Are going to be able to push them on back. 3 minutes, 10 seconds are going to be on clock now. There's still a lot of time for them to try and get something going on, but it's going to be a little bit rough now. Night Strike does get caught out, and a little bit is going to have to move on back, but the Bird Screech keeps confusing me for some reason. But here's Ewan going in onto the Psylocke. Not going to be able to get a pick, but does get a great headshot. Lady Lay going to get onto Night Strike. That's going to be one of their main divers and damage down and out. But Root going to get choke slammed and pushed on back. Not going to be able to do much, but here is the invisible boundary coming from Racer. Is going to be able to clear a lot of space, but Fate across both worlds is going to be popped up. It's going to be an ult for an ult, as Silence Seduction not going to be able to get any value at all. Reality Erasure, Strangle Fist is going to be used, and it's going to be able to get 4 up there by the looks of it. But the Eye of Agamotto and Eternal Bond is going to be used up. Ewan going to be able to get a double kill. Reality Erasure coming in, pure chaos. Will it be able to get anything? It doesn't seem like it, as Spooky is taken out. But Lady Lay going to get a little bit of a trade going on. They do lose the Luna Snow, but also they do get the cloak, and it is just a complete brawl happening here. Now, it is still in the same spot, but finally they are going to start getting some meters now, and they're going to try and get the last pick, and there it is. Montana State secures some great distance.
Yeah, what a fight. At the end there, you saw everyone was brawling, ults flying left, right, and center. Montana State managed to hold on, though. They did use that Luna ult, unfortunately, to counter what Matadors threw at them. However, they were able to hold on, and now they're getting good distance on the cart. Now we'll see coming into entrance of point 1 how Matadors are going to respond. In comes the Butterstrike ult. Nice fight going in. Unable to find anyone as of right now. I mean, the Phoenix ult from the side of Matadors lands next to the support, but they're unable to find anyone. Matadors are now losing. They are down 3. And Montana State seems like they're cleaning up. Mega Immortal gets 2! E1 on Nautilus. Lady Lay does manage to get Mega Immortal and finish off Swang. And they're gonna cap this first point with 1:16 left on the clock. So the time refresh now is set to 3 minutes 40 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, that group raw not really working out in their favor, as Mega Immortal was able to use that to get a double kill. But with the fact that a lot of members from Montana State were still up, Lady Lay was just there to be able to clean it up and secure that first point. Now, 3 minutes and 25 seconds are about to be here onto the clock. Ultimates looking really good on both sides. They are about to get... Both Eye of Agamottos are up. Both tank ults also are up. But there's that hook coming from E1. Gonna be able to find... Oh my days, just a hook, and Flick coming in, cracking it back up and available. But there's Eternity getting taken out, but Night Strike is going to get the get back, going to be able to take E1, and they're going to be looking for more. The building is starting to collapse now. There's going to be a lot of space taken up. Dance of the Butterfly is not going to be available. Would have been a really good spot to use it there, though. But Wolverine now coming in. There's the Eye of Agamotto going to come in. Is going to be able to get 2 of them, but it doesn't seem like Matadors have a proper response to go for it. Montana State, once again, reclaiming the tempo that they had lost earlier, and are going to be able to push things out here. But look at the Pharaoh Leap coming in from playing with Brig.
Lady Lay was almost got caught by Bling B, but he's managed to stay on. But we do see Matadors playing with, we switched to the Wolverine in hopes of countering the Gru on the side of Montana. But if you look at the ult economy, it is in favor of Montana State. Do you have that carpet impact? This color. Oh, Scarlet falls a nice strike. That is one ult not online. Here comes the Eye of Agamotto Swang. In comes the Gru ult. He managed to get 2, but in comes the Luna ult. Countering. Here comes the Mega Immortals ult from the MF Frost. Unable to get anyone with the Luna ult, Snow ult here to play. In comes Wolverine. And here with Nitrite. That's a butterfly with Nitrite. Gets 2! One on Juan Cario and Arcadia. That is 2 from the side of Montana State. Now they're just left to 2. Oh. Unfortunately, here comes the ultimate from Eternity Pop. Maybe a misclick on the side of Matadors. That is a wasted support ult, unfortunately. But they were able to hold that and push Montana State back.
Yeah, definitely was a very unfortunate, maybe a little bit of an overzealous ult play coming in over from Eternity there. But it's Cloak and Dagger. They're going to be able to get an ultimate up real quick. But here's the Reality Erasure. Almost going to get a lot of Matador's side. But the Strange came in with the melee right on time. Kraken Impact, though, is going to be used over here. It's going to be trying to get a double kill. But it doesn't really seem like it is going to be able to, as unfortunately the heals were just right there and on point for him. E1 gonna have to be able to push back, but that was just an intense amount of fight that happened earlier. I mean, we saw the Wolverine ult come out with Dance of Butterflies and was able to secure that point. Eye of Agamotto gonna be coming to come in, and it's gonna get 5 members of Montana State taken out by the Eye of Agamotto. That's a huge play coming in from Swang, and that is gonna be a team ace.
Swang coming in with a 5-man Eye of Agamotto, giving Matadors the lifeline they need to hold on from Montana State. Montana State, and coming with the tricky little emo we saw there. Montana State have less than a minute on the clock. They need to find a response to counter Matadors. Because as it stands right now, Matadors will win 2-0 in this match. However, Matadors are coming in with the Gouda online. They have the Luna also ult coming in as well. Matadors have the Emma Frost ult and the... Okay, incoming the Kidnap on the Gru. From Matadors playing with the Bree. Gru's coming in, gets 3. Unfortunately, can't find anyone. Invis ult, and they double stack all with the Luna, with the, my apologies, Cloak and Dagger ult. Incoming Mega Immortals ult. Trying to find 3 on the side of Montana State. Incoming the Wolverine ult.
Once again, the battle of the Qs happening.
Oh, God. And Lady Lay is the last to fall on the side of Montana.
I mean, that was just an insane fight coming in. I mean, once again, as I was saying, I see shiny Q button and I press it. We see a Thor swap coming in, but it doesn't really seem like he's going to be able to do much, as it looks like Matador is just going to be able to hold the line here as they take match 1.
1, 2, 3.
And that is map 2 in the favor of Matadors. They're able to hold Montana State at the second chokehold with I believe, close to 2 minutes left at the time they had arrived. And we see A-Swang deserving of that MVP with that 5-man coming in at the last minute to give Matadors that lifeline.
Yeah, no, most definitely. I mean, we saw, Montana State definitely pulled up with the Great Temple coming in. They had some really great moments, but unfortunately, they were unable to keep that momentum, keep that vibe going in. And Matadors was able to use that to advantage, were able to switch on things. If things went bad for them, they would have just Uno reverse it right on back and start getting all of the moves that they needed to do. And of course, Swang, that 5-man ult, I wish we were able to hear how the comms were popping up, because I guarantee they had to have been popping off, because that was just an immensely beautiful ultimate. But ultimate coordination coming in on both sides were just right there. And looking at the scoreboard now, it was just, I mean, wow, double-digit deaths on all members of Montana.
That is
Insane.
unfortunate to see, but Montana in the beginning did show some promise, being able to push back Matadors, who I thought would have held very nice, and then they get to the second point with a lot of time on, and now Matadors is able to just hold and deny Montana any of the value they initially wanted.
Sorry, guys. My soul just returned back to my body. I just finished getting Eye of Agamotto'd, and I'm back, and I'm able to control myself once again. But obviously, Swang. Like, wow. Come on. Round of applause for sure. That was game-changing play if I've ever seen one. But, of course, and I hate to admit it because I know he's going to get all smug, okay, we have Taz is correct. We're seeing the Matadors Red coming out on top at the end of this series. But still, it was a beautiful series nonetheless. I think we can all agree on that. Any objections? This is a fantastic series.
No complaints here.
And it was amazing.
Better not complain. Yeah, it was a good series. The teams really played 100% all the way through. And again, what more could you possibly ask for from these competitors? I think they did a fantastic job. Of course, Matadors coming out on top. What do you think was the big difference between the teams that allowed them to succeed tonight?
I mean, on my end, and from what I saw, it just once again came down to the fact that whenever Montana State had any form of advantages, whenever they had any form of momentum happening, they were unable to really properly keep it. And I think that comes from the fact that Matadors Red just knew exactly how to break Montana State when it mattered. They were able to just swift any momentum that Montana State had and just turn it against them. Like we saw a lot of times, all of this ultimate battles, it really came down on who used the ultimates best at what moment. And I think I gotta give it to Matadors Red. Whenever they use their ultimates, they definitely got value out of it, except for that one Cloak and Dagger ultimate, but we don't talk about it.
We do not talk about it, sir. No. But Taz, tell me how you're feeling after that series. I feel like you are kind of the star of the show here tonight, besides the players. You're making your debut here, and you are the most correct person of all time. Tell me how you're feeling.
Hey, my first CRS stream, and I get my first prediction right. I'm feeling pretty good. But that aside, I think Matadors were able to really identify the weaknesses that Montana State had. Early on, we saw Playbrig switch off. Switch into Wolverine to counter the Gru on the side of Montana. And early on, it didn't seem like it was proving much value, but as the match and the fight went on, it turned out to be more in the favor of Matadors. And I feel like the ult economy and ult rotations also benefit the Matadors really well, and they were able to hold their ground. And credit to Swang, did get that 5 Eye of Agamotto, giving Matadors a really, really important lifeline.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, you can say besides victory, you walked away with a fantastic clip. If you're Swang, at least, I think he won the most tonight. But I think the viewers at home won the most tonight as well, because they got to experience it all with all three of us. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. But don't go anywhere. We still have a lot of Rivals action coming up soon. We'll be going to a quick break, but we'll see you guys soon.
Stay, don't you go. You make my every cell flow, my every breath slow and go. Yeah, that's how you make me feel I'm yours. You bring me up when I hear only radio static. Play me a song on repeat. Right now, you hit me like chemicals. I doubt I'll ever gonna let you go. To come down feels like a bitter antidote. Never let go, never let go, no. Right now, hit me like chemicals. Right now, never gonna let you go. To come down, like a bitter antidote, Never let go, never let go. Never let go, never let go. Never let go, never let go. Hey, don't you know? We all need someone to love, need someone to make it feel like home. You make me feel I'm home. You bring me up when I hear only radio static. Play me a song on repeat. You hit me like right now, you hit me like chemicals. I doubt I'll ever gonna let you go. To come down feels like a bitter antidote. Never
All right, welcome in everybody. I am brand new. You guys probably haven't seen me yet. You guys are like, who the heck is this guy? It's Mega Ninja 44. I've casted a couple times here, but I'm going to be casting with you, Taz. It's going to be a pleasure to cast with you. But first, we have an interview with, oh, I'm forgetting his name already.
Aswang.
Aswang, thank you so much. Yeah, we have an interview with Aswang, the winner of the last game. Aswang, welcome in.
Hi, thank you for having me. It's kind of a joy and a little bit of a surreal for me for
Yeah,
just
how are
playing
you
this and having an
feeling?
interview.
How are you
Heart
feeling?
rate kind of through the roof. Like I didn't think I was an MVP, but it's honestly nice because when we first started this, we were a little not coordinated well together. But last game and this game have been really pushed us together. So really enjoyed being with my teammates and stuff like that, playing with all my teammates, including Black and Red.
Yeah, were you guys nervous, going into this first match? Or going in, was the mentality in a positive way? Were you guys a little nervous going into it, or you guys were like, we're gonna crush these guys?
For me, it was a little nervous because this is just me because my teammates before, like at 12ish, were like screaming and as well as like looking at strategies and VODs of the other team. I was at a funeral, so I almost didn't make it, but luckily I was able to come here and make it. But besides that, I think just the general nerves of having that. But I've been watching. I've been pretty motivated to keep winning from what do you call it, watching Worlds, if you know the league.
Mm-hmm.
That I do. I mean, it seems like you guys were motivated. You guys were able to 2-0 Montana State. And I have a question here for you. How did it feel hitting that 5-man Eye of Agamotto on the side of Montana State?
That was honestly pretty crazy. I was, especially because I feel like I was not looking for that 5-man. I was definitely just mainly looking for supports, which I usually do. But that 5-man was just so nice. It actually really turned the fight for us, and then I really loved the way my teammates, especially, we also just acknowledged and immediately turned onto it and noticed the turn. I kind of repeated myself, but yeah, I just kind of felt surreal. Did not think I would hit a 5-man in a pro game.
Yeah. Are you guys excited for your next couple upcoming matches? Are you guys, feeling better after this win? Or are you guys feeling like,
Definitely, especially from like the first 3 matches were losses, and then these past 2 have been pretty ups. With like last game we played was our first win, and it was so surreal. And this one is just as like nice. So we're excited to keep on going and keep going the distance.
well, yeah, thank you so much for the interview. It was a pleasure having you on, and have a good look next week. I'm excited to watch you guys.
Thank you for having me.
All right. It was a good first match. I only caught bits and parts of it because I was a little busy beforehand, but I'm really excited to get into this next match. 2 pretty good teams, right? I think we have, oh goodness, my
We have
Carlton versus
Carlton
East
Ravens.
Bay. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to watch this one. It's gonna be hopefully it'll be a giga banger. We're just getting the lobby all set up. We're gonna have to, get things set up, get players into the lobby, figure out where we're gonna be going. Where do you think we're gonna Okay, I know it's chosen by random, but what? Oh, God, I hope it's not Convoy. But what map would you like to see first, Daz?
I mean, a little convergence is always nice, convergence, you start on like the Dom style control point, and then it turns into the convoy rest of the map. So like seeing that transition between those two kind of things is always nice to see, and how teams adapt into that scenario.
Yeah,
I
mean,
I am. Oh yeah.
No, sorry, you go first. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. All I was gonna say is that I am quite excited for this game. I am a little bit biased. I used to play for Carlton Ravens. I'm a student there, so I'm hoping that Carlton pull through. But I know that they're capable. And no discredit to the East Bay Falcons. I know they're a strong team with a similar seeding, 13th and 14th position respectively. But I'm very excited to see how this match plays out.
Yeah, I mean, both teams pretty dominant right now in how they're looking. Not the greatest teams to say the least in the league, but they're looking to try to boost themselves up through the competition. And I'm excited to see what kind of comps we see going into this. And I know that you're biased with Carlton, but I will try my best to, I'll try to, if the bias is like here, I'll try to lower it down with the amount of talking I'll do. Don't worry, don't worry.
Yeah,
But
you got to counteract me a little bit.
I'm gonna try to counteract you the best that I can. I'll try rooting for the enemy team, just for the sake of the content.
Definitely.
Are we ready to go in? Okay, yeah. We are just doing a couple of things left over, but what we can talk about is the standings going into this week. It's looking pretty good right now. We see the teams that are going to be going up right now. You see Carleton, you see East Bay, 13th, 14th, both 2-2. My team is right up there, number 9, NCSU. I am an NCSU student, so it's good to see us in the top 10. Really strong teams right now. I know that last time I was here, I think it was Cal UCB versus CPPI, and CPPI got reverse swept by Cal, and it was a really, really good match to watch. It's kind of interesting to see some of these teams going into it. We're looking at some of these lower teams, with these map differentials, and you really want to try to get a win under your belt, try to boost yourself up to these top slots. Maybe you can get top 20 if you get a win or two, but we're just gonna have to see how these next couple of matches go, really.
Yeah, we're still in the week 4, like the early stages. A lot can happen. Like a one win can make a quite a difference for the standings here. So both of these teams, both sitting at 2-2, are going to be looking for the next win, hopefully to boost their position in the standings. They are right now sitting, like you said, 13th, 14th, respectively. It should be very interesting. Both teams have the capabilities to, come up top, but it all will be told on the battlefield when we get the team set up.
Yeah, and honestly, it's pretty interesting to see these top teams. I mean, it's not interesting to say the least, but it is interesting how dominant they are performing compared to, we look at seed 1 versus seed 28, and it's 4-0 with a +7 map differential, and it's an 0-4 with a -7 map differential. So map differentials are definitely going to be a huge thing. We can see a couple of these teams have pretty similar map differentials. Carleton, although 2-2 with East Bay, has that +1 map differential, so that's going to give them the boost over them. But as long as you don't drop a map, like even if you lose, if you drop -1 on your map differential with a loss, it's not the end of the world. Like if you lose in a 2-1, it's better than a loss in a 2-0, especially with how early these games are. It'll keep your standings in a pretty relatively good shape. You just have to watch out and try to secure your wins, try to secure your maps if you're gonna lose, just wherever you can against these teams.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that. If you look at the seed 1 and seed 2, Indiana Tech versus U Ottawa Avengers, both of them are sitting at a 4-0 record with both a +7 map differential. That definitely is going to be interesting to see how the standings will change later on as the weeks go on. They are both teams are big powerhouses. I mentioned earlier in the stream that I did face University of Toronto Avengers once, and they are a very strong team. So definitely the top seeding will trickle down into the rest, and it'll be interesting to see how it affects and plays out.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna come down to these later weeks where we are just getting our footing into this regular season. It'll have to just come down to later on how your maps are looking, how the matchups are going throughout. But I think we're gonna take a quick look from the East Bay Falcons roster really quickly, just kind of see what heroes they like to play. Looks like we see pretty standard stuff coming through. Doctor Strange, the Emma Frost. I've been seeing a lot of Moon Knight recently. Moon Knight is a character that I personally love as a Moon Knight man and as a Moon Knight fan from the comics, and he's able to output so much damage and get ults so frequently. So I'm really, it's really a tear falls from my eye every time I see him getting played in this scene. Cloak and Dagger is a little interesting though. Right now we're not seeing a lot of Cloak and Dagger. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like definitely Cloak and Dagger has fallen down the pecking order a little bit in terms of where they stand in the meta. But just last match, Matadors versus Montana State, we did see Cloak and Dagger being played quite a bit from the side of Matadors. So it's not out of the question, although it is surprised when you pair Cloak and Dagger with a Jeff. Now, no discredit to Jeff. Jeff is climbing the ladder slowly. He is becoming a really strong pick for these teams, but typically you see a Luna Snow or an Inviswoman or even a Mantis nowadays. She got a buff and she's doing pretty well for herself. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, and we also have to consider, the ban phase and the draft phase. What's going to get banned out? Have these teams done their scouting? Have they noticed what players really like to play? If they know that maybe that ban brand might be a Jeff one trick. So if we ban out the Jeff every single round immediately, it might be a little bit of a hard thing for East Bay to deal with. But we're gonna look at Carleton now. We're gonna look at the Carleton roster, and then we're gonna see a very different looking preferred heroes from each of these. We see Angela Venom. I know Venom has been doing pretty strong recently. I know he gets banned out quite a lot. Same with the Mantis. I'm actually very interested to see Angela here personally.
Yeah, she's not a hero that you see played as often. However, going back to the last match again, she was banned out in both maps, so we didn't get to see a chance for her to be played. Maybe now in this match it's going to be a little different, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how she fits in, if she fits in at all.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because I don't know if these teams are going to be looking at, also these could just be choices that the players themselves like personally versus what they want to play in this scene. You could be looking at, my favorite is Jeff, but I'm not actually going to play Jeff today because, Jeff is going to be terrible into their comp, or, I really like Angela, but Angela isn't that good in the competitive scene, so we're not going to be seeing her get played at all. But it looks like they're going to be running a pretty similar 2-2-2 comp. Both teams are. I'm a little interested to see what gets banned out here. What really is the bread and butter for these teams. Try to figure out, do they want to go with a triple support backline? Do they want to go the 2-2-2 route? Do they, want to focus bans onto the supports of the enemies? Do they want to protect? A lot of times we saw last time I cast it, at least, is that they would ban one character and then protect it for themselves. That way they had that advantage that the other team couldn't utilize.
Yeah, and we saw that very same thing that you're describing just now. The side of Montana State actually banned out Matador's Bucky and protected it for themselves to be able to utilize and have that advantage over Matadors.
Yeah,
And
I mean, sorry, what were you gonna say?
sorry, I was just gonna say I gotta make sure I don't reveal anything about Carleton too much.
Yeah, no, we gotta get this. We're still figuring this out, folks. So you gotta bear with us a little bit. We're still trying to figure out the casting thing. I think map has come through. We are gonna be going. Let's see, symbiotic surface. Interesting to see. What kind of comp does that make you feel like these teams are gonna be running?
It's definitely an interesting pick. So symbiotic surface, Iowa convergence, something I did say. It's really tough to say because, like I mentioned earlier, you have the Dom first point that switches into the convoy for the rest of the map, right? So it depends on what the team is wanting to run. I know a lot of teams will start their comps very brawl heavy in order to get that advantage, and then quickly switch into maybe a poke or something a little more that has a little bit more range. But I know also teams do a hybrid where they do like kind of semi poke, semi brawl. So it really depends how the playstyle is of the players and what direction they think they're going to go in.
Yeah, I mean, something that I also have to consider is because we don't see a lot of convergence happen often. It's do comps get swapped up? between the cap of the point and the push of the bot. You know, do you have a certain comp that you want to run to get that objective done, and then do you swap that up once you get that cart rolling? Is there a certain like benefit to certain other characters in these different modes, even though they are on the same map? You know.
Yeah, I definitely think it'll be heavily dependent on what like your enemy team's running. So if you have something that they are very brawl centric on the first point, maybe you go to something that you need to counter, and maybe that's just not brawl. Given that even though the first one is domination, you just need to counter your team and you know take it out. So it really depends on what comps they're running.
Yeah, and I mean, the comp decisions are going to be made pretty much entirely from the ban phase. I think the ban phase is the most important part of the game, personally. You know, being able to dictate where the game is going to go, what the comp styles are going to look like. You know, if you ban out a crucial key part of a comp, then the enemy team isn't going to be able to play that. And if you protect it yourself, you're able to play that. And it could be strong on some maps, and, you know, it could definitely weaken the opponents. So I'm pretty interested to see the draft and the ban phases from both of these teams. It does work like the Ignite style that we do see. I think the grand finals going on right now, or did it just finish? I can't remember. I think it just finished.
I believe it just finished, because I think I saw.
I think it just finished. Yeah. So hopefully. Oh no, it's going on right now. Grand finals is going on right now. Navi versus 100 Thieves. So hopefully, you know, they've been doing their research. They've been looking at what the pro levels are doing, you know, seeing what the top teams are running on these maps, utilizing these for their own strategies. But they also want to make sure that they're comfortable on those characters. You know, you don't want to lock something just because it's good if you don't feel comfortable on it. You know, I don't play a Venom at all, and even if he's broken, I'm not going to play him. So I'm just going to stick to my Strange, even though, hey, just Strange is also broken. But you know, we'll just have to see what's going on between these two teams and what their thought process is in terms of compositions, bans, especially with map, you know, and maybe you start to think about what map do you want to go second after this first one. So that's going to be something that, you know, these teams are going to be like, okay, let's say we lose this. But I think, because you are a Carleton fan, I am going to root for the opposite side and say East Bay is going to win this. I'll say 2-1 though. I'll say 2-1.
Okay, I mean that's fair, but you know, I gotta back my guys. I'm gonna go with Carleton. For doing a score prediction, I'm gonna say 2-0 in the favor of Carleton.
Oh, 2-0. Okay.
I mean, we saw 2-0 from Matadors. I'm hoping they pull out the same.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is a best of 3, so it is going to be the first to 2 map victories. So whoever wins this first map is already going to have that advantage. You know, especially if they do lose the second one, then they're going to have map pick, and also, you know, the starting, they're the more favored ban side. It is, you know, relatively the same, but it is still better if you are the loser. I'm pretty excited to see these first couple of maps going through. All right, looks like we're going to be going into it. A couple of interesting hovers so far, but, you know, you never judge a hover by... Yeah, as East Bay hovers for Spider-Man, I say you never judge a hover by its character, so... Yeah, we're going to be seeing some different things. We can't take this at face value, because we see 4 Spider-Men and 2 Black Widows.
If only you could play that many. And first bans coming out here, we do see Carleton ban out East Bay, Emma Frost, and Venom on the side of East Bay. Maybe taking a little bit of information from the initial screening that we saw of the players' favorite characters.
Yeah, a little interesting to see those come out, but it looks like a protect ban on, or a protect on the side of Luna Snow from East Bay is gonna, you know, maybe hinder out what Carleton is gonna want to ban out here. Luna Snow, pretty powerful with that ultimate ability, cannot be stunned out of it. You know, if it's popped, it's pretty much just like a we survive forever ultimate. Bucky is gonna be banned from the side of Carleton, so not wanting to deal with those hooks, not wanting to deal with that Kraken impact. A pretty smart decision from Carleton. I know that Bucky's a pretty common pick, so I think that's a good ban from the side of Carleton.
Definitely, I agree. Bucky is proving to be very, very annoying to deal with. And here comes a mag protect from the side of Carleton, maybe to counter the Luna Snow protect with the slam dunk that Magneto can pull out. He can shut down a Luna Snow ultimate, given that she's not bubbled or shielded by one of her teammates.
Yeah, I think mag ult is something that's, there's not a lot of ults that can insta kill through a support ult like there is the mag ult, there is the Iron Man ult, although we don't see Iron Man ult too often, and we are gonna see a Rocket ban from the side of East Bay. Rocket is a pretty good support. I think he's kind of niche in some situations, but he has his resurrection beacon, he does have his amplifier, he has his team ups with Penny. But it looks like East Bay is going to ban the Luna Snow from Carlton, so they're going to be the only ones capable of running the Luna Snow. And it looks like the Venom, we're going to get another Venom ban, so no Venom at all this entire map. Because unfortunately, we are on Symbiotic Surface, so we're not going to be able to see him in his hometown. And Bucky Protect from Carlton, going to make sure they're the only ones who can play Bucky. So both teams are deciding that they want to be the only players to play this Luna and also play this Bucky by themselves.
And we're gonna see also, like you said, and for Luna, and Emma. Oh, sorry, my apologies. For Venom, Emma's also gonna be banned for the side of Carlton. So no Emma this game either. Emma has been really, really dominant. Her the pressure and oppression that she can give out is something that teams might struggle with. And a mag protect, considering that Carlton already protected Magneto. East Bay is going to double down on that.
Yeah, they want to make sure that they're not the only ones that can run the mag, making sure that it's a character that they can also run. The last ban is going to be Hela from the side of East Bay, onto East Bay, so they're not going to be able to run that Hela. So pretty similar bans all throughout. No Venom, no Emma. Down Hela Bucky from the side of East Bay, and down Rocket Luna. So they are leaning a little bit more towards the supports from the side of East Bay's bans. I am very interested to see what kind of comps they're going to be running. I do see them hover the Psylocke, but I don't know if we're going to be seeing that come to fruition just yet. Pretty similar all around. You do see the Invisible Woman, you see this Strange and the Mag from the side of Carlton. Interesting to see the Psylocke and the Cloak and Dagger, but maybe we'll be seeing some value out of that. I haven't seen a lot of Psylocke play, so this is going to definitely be interesting to me.
With such stealth.
Yeah. Just referencing just last match again. Matadors had a Psylocke. I play Brig. My apologies. Night Strike was on the Psylocke last match, and he was able to get he was able to put Psylocke to really good use, getting high value with her ultimate Butterfly Dance. Even though sometimes it's either countable, they were able to make it work. Now you see here from the side of East Bay, they are locking in the Punisher and Namor, as well as the Magneto. They did protect Luna Snow, Strange, and Rocket. That was banned out. We'll see how it goes on the way.
I mean, it is going to be quite interesting to see that Namor out, going to be kind of that anti-dive character, really good against people like Iron Fist, Spider-Man, stuff like that, but we're not going to be seeing that from Carlton. First engage is going to be coming through. Looks like East Bay is going to be doing a lot of damage, but Jake is going to be able to get the first kill onto the Strange from the side of East Bay, so they're going to have to get back up here, being down a tank already.
Yeah, great pick from Jake to start up the fight. Already pushing East Bay a little bit, putting them on the back foot now. Oh, and the hook comes in from the Moon Knight. My apologies, from Bucky. Unable. Oh, he's able to get the kill on the Punisher, but he does get resurrected by the Rocket Res Beacon. Now putting that offline, but they are back at even numbers, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, even numbers right now. A big hook is going to be connecting onto this Magneto. Going to be taken down so low. Not going to be taken out, however. This amplifier is available. The mag is going to go down. You have to back up, I think, if you're East Bay. If they keep this pressure going, they're going to have to commit an ult or something. Gladly going down is going to be no Punisher from their side. However, Blind is able to get the kill onto Jake, so they are in a 4v5 right now. Juice is able to get the kill into Blind. Blind is able to get the kill with the ultimate ability being popped. Cloak and Dagger is going to come through from the side of Carlton here. And they did pop. Oh, I didn't realize this, but the Invisible Woman also popped their ult from the side of Carlton, so no support ults are available from the side of Carlton, and they are going into a big ult fight, especially with this Punisher ult and this Amplifier available from East Bay.
Namor, Blind was able to counter the Invisible ult with his ult. They was able to shut it down. But from the side of Carlton, you do have 4 ults coming up online. Oh, here comes the Strange ult. He doesn't get anyone. Incoming the Kraken Impact, as well as the Olazi coming with the Strange. Here comes the Magneto ult, unable to find anyone. He does kill Juice Tadpole. In comes the Devastating Strike. That is 4 for the side. 5. That is a full sweep for the side of East Bay. They were able to counter using that Punisher ult to good use. Unfortunately, Juice Tadpole was not able to find anyone with his ultimate, and Kraken Impact as well was not put to any substantial use. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Listen, it's a pretty expensive ult from the side of East Bay. Yes, they are able to cap, but they do pop 4 ults for it compared to Carlton's 2. It is a good advantage to have, however. Looking like, oh man, Bambaran is going to be so incredibly low. Going to get this bubble, but going to be able to stay alive just for right now. Punisher turret is going to be on this objective, just kind of poking out of these tanks. A lot of damage getting pushed through. Oh, the Namor ult is going to come into the backline, not connect on to anybody except for the Luna, who's going to go down. The Psylocke ult is going to connect, but not going to be able to get any individual kills because everybody's grouped up. The Luna Snow ult is popped from East Bay, and they're going to advance onto this front line. Oh my, the Mag is taking so much damage. Going to die just before the Invisible Woman ult is popped, so not going to be able to get any value off of it. However, Mohammed is able to get 2 kills on the Bucky. Our Kraken Impact is going to connect to nobody, but still being able to get so much damage through. The map is going to block him off, wants to stop him right where he stands. Looking at this backline here, you need to get these kills if you want to stabilize in this fight. Looks like Mohammed is going to be able to get a quick 3k from him. It manages to stabilize for right now. A lot of ults are coming online from the side of Carlton too. They do have the Eye of Agamotto. They do have the Cloak and Dagger ult. You have to be careful about this, considering all you have is Amplifier from the side of East Bay.
Gotta get this thing under the
What? Yeah, well, East Bay, their Punisher he is sitting at 80% ult charge. But that is still going to take some time to come online. You do have, like you said, the Eye of Agamotto from the side of Carlton. Well, if you're East Bay in this scenario, what do? You just got shut down by a Kraken Impact. Although it didn't connect anyone, Mohammed was able to get 3 kills. Now, on the side of Carlton, they are holding the high ground. Jake, they are pushing back a little bit on the East Bay, but we got to see what they're going to do. Punisher ult is going to come up soon. He has 92%. And Jake Bobo and Juice Tadpole are coming up with their ults as well. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes from here.
A lot of damage getting pumped into East Bay's numbers right now, but it's only just giving more oral charge. Bambaran is going to swap over to the Black Panther. A little bit of an interesting pick. Going to be trying to get so much damage into the back. Not going to be able to find anything. Mag ult is going to come through. Jake is able to find 2 with a Psylocke ult. It's actually 4 kills from Jake. It's actually insane. Quadra kill from the side of the Psylocke. It's going to prove why they're the best mutant around. It gets a pentakill. Absolutely beautiful ult from the side of Jake. Carlton has 4 ults online and is going to be able to stabilize for yet another fight.
Yeah, but Carlton does have 4 ults coming up, but only one of them is a support ult. If you take a look at the side of East Bay, they do have the Lunar Snow ult, a little shy at 85%, but it is coming up quite soon. They do have the ult from Rocket, and they have as well as the Namor and Punisher, as well as the Black Panther also. If you saw the Carlton, you do have to heed a little caution for their ultimate. Here comes the Punisher ult. Coming in Juice Health. He is unable to find anyone. Comes down the Invisible Woman ult as well as the ult from Rocket.
So much damage.
Punisher trying to find someone right now. Unable to. Here comes the Dragon from Mohammed and comes to the Eye of Agamotto. Comes to that Luna ult. He gets 1. He gets 2. He's getting reformed again. But there is a Luna ult to protect him. He does find a hook on the Black Panther, but he's going to go back into the Luna ult. Damage boost. He gets 3. Now he can find 4. He finds 4. And they're able to find Jake Bobo with the 5th or 6th, able to clean up the rest of the game. Wow, wow, wow. What a fight counter from the side of Carlton's. Sorry to cut you off, Mega Ninja, but East Bay Falcons were able to dump almost all of their ultimates, and Carlton likewise. They used most of the ultimates to counter, and yet Carlton able to hold on here. East Bay Falcons down to just under 30 seconds. How do you respond here if you're East Bay Falcons? We do see the switch to Moon Knight though.
Yeah, a lot of ults were used there in that fight. That's a pretty bad fight to lose from the side of East Bay. You needed those ults to win this fight, especially when you had that Punisher available. But it looks like we're going to swap over to the Groove here. Psylocke ult is going to be going on into the back line, going to be taking care of so much damage. Both supports are going to go down. Jake is able to find the kill onto the Black Panther, and it looks like they're going to be able to clutch this out. Jake with a triple kill. It's so incredibly large from the Psylocke, from this Bucky, this Winter Soldier, proving why he's the best assassin in the Marvel Universe. And it looks like East Bay is going to be held right here, just able to get the first cap, but not much further.
Yeah, I mean, what a show from the DPS of Carlton. Not to discredit anyone else. The tanks were able to hold the line, coming with that Eye of Agamotto, as well as the supports coming with their ults. Unfortunately, sometimes the Invis or ult would come in a little late to save, for example, Juice Tadpole. However, they would come in at the right time to save the rest of the team. But if you're East Bay Falcons in this scenario, what do you think of changing? Because clearly this switch to the Moon Knight and Groot, that combo, that ult combo, while deadly, it did not prove useful to the side of East Bay Falcons. So what switch do you think of making here?
Well, honestly, I think that the switch is something that, you know, you can probably utilize. The problem is that they utilized it so late. They lost so many fights in a row trying with that same composition. And then, yes, they do swap to the Groot and to the Moon Knight, but they do it with like a minute left, not able to build those ults up in time, not able to get any value off of it. So at the end of the day, it's something that could potentially work, but we'll never know because they did it too little too late. And, you know, maybe if they did it a little bit earlier in terms of, you know, ult charge, especially after that huge ult jump fight, it was a really bad fight. Oh, I like that Moon Knight skin based off of the What If Season 3 episode. I don't know if anybody caught that because, you know, it's What If. But I personally like that episode a lot, and it is quite cool to see the Moon Knight getting played here. Maybe East Bay is going to get some value off of this. It does gain a lot of ult charge really fast. We'll probably see that one ult be the very first ult to be utilized in the game. We'll just have to see how these ult charges crank up from the Moon Knight.
Yeah, we do see East Bay Falcons on the Moon Knight here, like you pointed out, but they still are rocking that punish with it, so that is going to be a lot of damage coming in from the side of East Bay Falcons. We don't see the Groot coming in, so no combo ult, but we do see a Penny, which is interesting, but not uncommon on this horn, because she can hide her mines behind here. But here, coming into the first fight, they get a hook on the Penny. Penny goes down from the side of East Bay Falcons from the hook of Muhammad. They are down one tank. He does get res by the res beacon, but you already have that offline, so you can't afford to lose any more bodies here.
Yeah, it's a nice stun to stop that Bucky hook from coming in. Not going to be able to connect on anybody the second time around. However, Muhammad is able to get another kill onto the the Cloak and Dagger. That's a huge kill from the side. Invisible Woman ult is going to be popped. However, Lazy's going to go down here. And a hook is going to be going through. Muhammad is getting so much value off of these hooks. Being able to isolate one person, being able to absolutely pound into them, getting these picks, making sure this res beacon is used as quickly as possible. And I mean, that's already the first cap, 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Only took a minute and 15. You're going to have a lot of time in the bank, and you don't have to get very far either.
No, they got now 5 minutes on the clock with that time refresh. But thinking from the side of the Falcons, how do you deny the Bucky his hook? And is it something that you consider banning out next map if the map goes the way of Carlton? But right now they are pushing. They do have just under 5 minutes. Here comes the Moon Knight all down, looking to hunt something, unable to find anyone. Does get a hit on Strange and the Magneto. Here comes the cracking impact. He does find three, unable to connect anyone. Here comes Luna. Find someone! Find slam dunk! Comes the Prano time on the Magneto, all onto Luna Faye. Unfortunately, not able to get long-lasting effect from the ultimate. Strange on the side of Carlton does fall as well. Carlton are now down to 4. They are missing their 2 tanks. However, they now have to reset and take a breather. They do have a lot of time left on the clock. They have already made it a little bit over halfway to their point.
Yeah, pretty good hold from the side of East Bay. It wasn't even that expensive either. You save both of your support ults and you have this Punisher ult online. But Carlton didn't really use much anyways. They used the Kraken, they used the Cloak and Dagger ult, but they still have both their tank ults and going to have Invisible Woman ult online here. So you're going to have to get a lot of value in this next coming fight. Kind of force these ults out here. Try to manage something. Moon Knight ult is going to be available yet again. Going to be popped into the Invisible Woman ult. Jake is going to pop the Psylocke ult in return. He does a lot of damage. Not going to be able to find any kills. Oh, it's a huge jump from the Magneto. Kills the Punisher ult. Not going to be able to find any value off of it. And the Cloak and Dagger ult is going to come through from East Bay. However, the stun comes onto Mr. Hamster. Not going to be able to get the Eye of Agamotto down and to connect onto any kills. However, there's so much damage getting pumped out. Kraken Impact is going to try to utilize the rest of this. And it looks like East Bay is going to be pushed back. Only one more fight potentially from the side of East Bay if they want to stay in this.
What a fight from Carlton. While it was quite expensive, they were able to counter. Here comes the Invisible from the side of East Bay Falcons trying to stall. Almost gets pushed out from Muhammad. Mr. Hamster is able to kill the Punisher. Jake Bobo does get the kill on the Invisible, denying that ult. Portal comes through, but Muhammad kills the Cloak and Dagger. Now, East Bay Falcons are just trying to stagger to hold on as long as they can. However, it is cleanup. They are getting kill after kill after kill. They are just stalling. Now switch to Jeff. Incoming the Eye of Agamotto, and that is game Map 1 for Carlton Ravens. What a display with 2 minutes, just under 3 minutes on the clock. Wow. What are your thoughts, Mega Ninja?
I mean, it was pretty explosive. You know, Carlton definitely had the advantage this match with their composition. Jake and Mohammed able to do so much on these DPS. You know, again, like you said, no discredit to anybody else. The supports were doing incredible work. The tanks were doing incredible to shut down the DPS ults from the other side. But I mean, man, Mohammed with 20k damage, 16 final blows from both of the DPS, absolutely insane. Does so much. I wonder if you are the side of East Bay now, do you want to ban out some of these? Do you want to target ban? Guys, the Bucky did too much last time. Let's make sure to ban him on this next map. You are going to have map selection. And you are going to have first ban. So it is going to be pretty crucial because now you have to think about what the strengths are of Carlton and what the weaknesses of our Carlton. But honestly, I didn't see all too many weaknesses come out from this first map. You're going to have to go back to the drawing board just for right now. Pick whichever map they think they're most comfortable on and just kind of see, you know, what composition they might want to try to run and ban out from Carlton.
Definitely, but if you are the side of East Bay Falcons, that Bucky is not the only problem you have to worry about. Like you mentioned, Jake Bobo on the side, like getting 16k, 16 final hits along with Mohammed. But what do you decide to ban both? Use both of your bans on a Psylocke ban and a Bucky ban, or do you just target one and let the other one roam free? That if you're East Bay, you got to think about these things.
Yeah, I mean, you could ban both. I don't know if I would love banning both. It is so limiting in what else you have available for in terms of, you know, your bans. And you could theoretically, you know, but I think there are other characters that I do think the Bucky ban is something that they do need to do. I think Bucky is a character right now that is pretty strong, pretty dominating, and if you have a good Bucky on your team, it is something that can just outright win maps for you. So I think that they have seen Mohammed's Bucky play and they're going to be like, okay, that has to stop. But I think Psylocke is a character that, you know, is a little bit easier to kind of shut down. So you could just kind of play around that one a little bit more. I think they might have tried doing that, but I think it was just too late for them to realize that the Psylocke and the Bucky were just that large of a threat from the side of East Bay. We'll just have to go see what map they decide to take us to. Where do you want to go? If you,
sorry, you were saying?
Oh, I was just wondering, like, where if you are the side of East Bay, what kind of map do you want to go to? Do you want to go to a map that maybe is less opportune for the Psylocke? Do you want to go for something that is, you know, maybe stronger with your Moon Knight composition? I'm just trying to think about what maps would be beneficial for East Bay over Carlton.
Yeah, and this actually ties into what I was about to say. If you are the side of East Bay, I did notice last map they did hold on to that Penny past the first point, which is actually kind of uncommon for that map. Usually you do see a lot of Penny on that first point because of how she can hold with her nest behind the pillar from a safe distance, but they opted to keep it in. But if you are the side of East Bay, I think they would want to, if they're going to keep that Penny going, maybe they keep on the domination. But it doesn't look like it matters because it looks like we are going to Spider Islands convoy once again.
Do I love Spider Islands from the side of East Bay? I think I do. I think it's a pretty nice defensive first point, that to say the least. I think it's really beneficial for the Penny, for the Moon Knight, especially with, like, you know, the single chokes that are available. I think Psylocke is a character that you have to kind of be worried about on this map. It is something that you are going to have to consider, you know, maybe target banning with the Bucky. But we're just going to have to kind of see where the bans go from the side of East Bay. They're going to actually matter so much. You know, I think like I said before, the ban and draft and protect phase is the most important phase of the entire map, and it kind of just decides right then and there what is going to be the outcome. Because I mean, you know, East Bay, you know, bans the Luna and protects it. However, Carlton bans and protects the Bucky, and the Bucky goes absolutely crazy. So, you know, I think it is definitely something that you have to consider, you know, where you want your bans to go, especially on this map. I mean, maybe a Penny ban comes through from the side of Carlton. There's a lot of what ifs, or, you know, what should they do, what shouldn't they do. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be the team, you know, decision deciding whether they want to look at what the other team has been running and what's been working and decide to target that or not.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're East Bay in this scenario and you have the choice of picking attack or defense, what do you think they opt in for here to start out with?
If I'm East Bay, I would probably opt for the defense. I think if you are on the defense, you can get if you can get a stronghold, you know where your end goal is. You go, okay, if we can, if like let's say that Carleton gets a point and a half, East Bay knows that they only need to get so far so they can, utilize their ults in a more strategic way. Because if they full hold, then they know, okay, guys, we don't have to use any ults this fight. We can just stack all 6 of them, and we can just go right on in and decide to pop all 6 of them, because they only need to win 1 or 2 fights if they full hold. But if you're attacking first, you don't really have any knowledge of where exactly you're going to end up having to hold, because if they only get like 2.5 points, okay, like I was saying, East Bay is going to be on the defense. You're going to try to scout out and see how well Carleton's going to do. You just don't want them to full cap. That would be a big problem for East Bay.
Yeah. Oh, and you do see the Psylocke ban coming in first from the side of East Bay. They really did not like the Butterfly Dance or Jake Bobo. So now, if you decide to Carleton, do you go for the Bucky ban, seeing as how they've opted for the Psylocke ban first, or do you go for a little something different? But also on the side of Carleton, okay, you do see that Bucky protect, so that is going to be online for side of Carleton. That did prove to be quite a problem for East Bay last match. But also the Emma ban from side of Carleton as well. Getting her out of there is... she is very oppressive to deal with.
Yeah, I think, okay, Emma's going to also be gone from the side of East Bay, so no Emma's going to be available for this map yet again. We're not going to see any Emma whatsoever. Well, unless East Bay wins this, and then maybe if we go to map 3, then maybe we'll be able to see some Emma. But not going to be the case in this situation here. I'm a little interested about why they went Psylocke over the Bucky. I think that the Bucky's a lot stronger, especially from Muhammad, but it is something that we're gonna have to see. Venom Protect from East Bay is a very interesting choice. I don't know if I see a lot of Venom on the defense here, but
no, but it's very interesting, like you said, because they did ban it out, if I'm not mistaken, last map.
Yeah, so maybe they're gonna try to utilize the dive over Carleton, maybe try to get the advantage going into making sure that the Bucky isn't able to get as much value as they want. If they do get a hook in, like, so what is kind of East Bay's mentality, perhaps. If you get a hook into the enemy team and the entire team also jumps onto you, like, okay, congratulations, you've hooked one person, but now you have 6 people looking at you. So we're going to have to see what that is going to do. It looks like, interestingly enough, East Bay is going to ban the Doctor Strange here, so they're not going to allow that portal play to be used. And Hela is going to be banned from the side of Carleton here, so going to be banning out the Bucky and the Hela. Pretty similar bans that we saw last time. Carleton isn't really swapping it up all too much, while East Bay is doing a little bit of adjusting to what they saw from Carleton.
Yeah, I mean, the old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? And no Protect. Maybe they mistimed it. There's a chance that East Bay were unable to protect in time. Unfortunately, I don't think we can see the chat, but they might have a fair play coming in. I know that's a common practice in tournaments and such.
That is... The no protect is a little interesting, to say the least. I'm hoping it's not a decision that they made on purpose. The mag ban and protect is going to come through from Carleton here, so they're the only ones that are going to be able to play mag, the only ones that are going to be able to play Bucky. We'll have to see what this last ban is going to be from the side of East Bay. Hopefully it's not another no ban, because I do think you can have more options of bans. Yep, Hela's going to come through, so we're not going to see any Hela either. Little interesting. I think you could have definitely used that protect on that Magneto if you wanted to keep it around, but not going to be the case. Looks like a very interesting comp. Going to be running that Groot yet again. So maybe we'll be seeing that Groot Moon Knight ult combo coming through. Jake is going to be on that Storm now, getting off of the... Oh, that's really interesting. Getting off of the Psylocke and going to the Storm. Storm is a pretty... That's a score girl. That is a score girl.
Interesting to see, to say the least. Score girl on defense is something that you don't see very often. If ever.
That is very interesting. Are we staying? We are staying on that score girl. Okay, that's... Wow, alrighty. And it looks like we're going to see Juiced also onto that Venom there. So we are going to see the Venom matchups coming through. Venom is, again, a really strong character that we are seeing more play from when he's not permanently banned. The Moon Knight is going to be picked from Bambran. So we are going to be seeing that combination with the Groot. And also, I mean, you know, as minimal as it is, you do have that team up with the Cloak and Dagger that exists, I guess. But you know, it's not one of the stronger team ups. We'll have
Hey,
to see
some
it.
healing is better than no healing.
Yeah, true. I guess you could say that is the case, but it also puts a very large target on your face.
Very much.
Wow.
We
Look at how
see
much all
something
charge
we-
already. Oh my god.
Something we didn't comment on is Luna is open for both sides. They were banned. Jake Bobo is able to get a kill on the Drew. Oh my god. And Squirrel gets a kill on Drew's Table, but Mohammed and Hamta are cleaning up the rest of the side of East Bay. It is now just the Venom and Moon Knight. But oh my god, Jake, Moon Knight Bam Bam gets killed, Jake, but Mohammed is able to clean him up. And that is going to be a nice and easy first push for Carlton here.
Yeah, I think I blinked and that fight was over. I mean, Hamter and Juice were able to get so much. Oh, Jake is going to throw a pause into the loop just really quickly. Don't know what that is about right now. Maybe just a couple of tech issues. Maybe we're going to see maybe a swap up coming through. I mean, Jake going down, and I mean, it was him that went down to the Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But I mean, you do have that push starting up, so a little bit of, I mean, could be some potential. Oh, okay. It looks like it just came in. We do have some audio issues coming through from the side of Carlton here. Shouldn't take too long to resolve. Probably just like a headset or an in-game volume issue. But yeah, we are going to go right back into it. That was, not long. They probably just had to unplug and replug in their headset. I wouldn't know if I don't know if I'd call it a pause for that, but maybe it was a little bit more complicated than what I was saying. But it would be kind of funny if it wasn't.
I mean, you have access to the pause. Why not use it, right?
I guess that's true. I guess that is a fair statement. In some tournaments it is different. You're only allowed 2 pauses in a match. Looks like this. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Woozy. Oh, no supports from the side of Carlton here. So it looks like East Bay is going to get really aggro. Okay, Blind cannot go down like that from the side of East Bay. You get both of the supports. That doesn't mean you can int your brains out. So it's going to be a little interesting to say the least. They are going to be backing up Carlton is, but they do have that pick onto the Strange. You have that portal available if you decide you want to use it. But, I mean, you have both these DPS ults if you're the side of Carlton. How do you want to use the Stormal? Are you going to be able to pop it before the portals come online from the side of East Bay? Okay, well, there goes. Wow, that is huge. A huge.
And Jake is able to get 2, almost maybe 3. Moon Knight ult doesn't find anyone. Incoming attacking impact. Hitting into Strange. He gets it in again, and again, he kills both tanks. He does have another reset, but it seems on the side of Carlton, they are getting things this up. No portal barriers come out from the East Bay, even though we do see Blind on this range with Aya Wagamoto. He's going to be... His respawn timer is still going to be up on not allowing East Bay to portal back.
That is really bad. I mean, you lose to what? Just Crack and Impact, and that's the entire round right then and there. Bambrand does flank with the Moon Knight ult, but I guess you had these ultimate abilities that you were capable of using. Jake is going to pop this normal here. Luna ult is going to be used in return. So is the Punisher ult, so going to be trying to pump as much damage as possible. Mag ult is going to come through from the side of Carlton, not going to be able to find anything just yet. So much damage getting pumped through from this Punisher. Going to be able to take out the Venom before the ult ends. So you did pop 2 ults there to get that 1 kill, but I think we are happy with that. Except for Bambrand going down. That's such a bad kill. And Vlad is going to be taken out next. Venom ult is going to be popped next. Not going to be able to find anything else, I don't think. Maybe. Okay.
Dragon Impact coming in from Muhammad again.
Oh my gosh,
he gets
so much damage going to be pumped through. And yes, the supports from Carlton are dying, but Muhammad is just having a field day on this Bucky. He's hitting again after again after again and again. A little bit of
someone stop this
play on words there. Juice is going to be taken out a little low, but going to be able to stay alive for right now. Oh my god, look at how much damage.
Something we just missed is during that Punisher ult, Token Dagger Woozle did ult to save her team and was able to successfully make use of it, not getting countered in any shape or form.
Yeah, I mean, really good plays here from the side of Carlton. Jake is going to be able to kill... 2 kills from Juiced, and Jake is able to get another one. 2 Ks from both of these players. Absolutely monstrous plays. And that's going to be a triple kill from the Venom. Juice Tadpole is going absolutely crazy on Venom. Eddie Brock himself would be proud right now.
Yeah, if you're the side of East Bay, what are you thinking right now? Because you have this much damage with the Moon Knight, with the Punisher, to pump into Carlton, right? But somehow they're able to stay on, and Muhammad is just getting so much value with his bucket. In comes the Moon Knight, looking to get speed. Luna comes through, saves his team. No one's fallen yet on either side of East Bay or Carlton, but the Luna ult is still up. It is going to fall soon. Damage boost is coming through, and Luna ult is ending now. But now if you're side of Carlton, you do have the Mag ult online, and you have the Storm ult. Side of East Bay, you have Agamo and the 2 support ults online. Oh, Carlton was able to cap.
Oh my god, if I'm the side of East Bay, I'm more upset about the fact that I haven't used any of them. We still have this Doctor Strange ult available, and we still have this Cloak and Dagger ult available. We held it for 2 straight points. There's the Cloak and Dagger ult, but we pop it when we're 2 down. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to get too much value here. I mean, yeah, you're able to stall the point out a little bit, but still have 3 minutes left. Blind has this Doctor Strange ult still available, if so choosing to use it. Not going to pop it just yet. In fact, it's going to go down to Muhammad. That's a huge kill with the only ult available. The Venom is going to... Okay, wow, that felt a little personal here. Muhammad is able to pop the Kraken Impact onto the Venom after ult. Not going to be able to find any other kills off of it, however. But it is going to force East Bay a little bit further back. Oh, that Cloak and Dagger is way too pushed up. Going to be taken out. Muhammad with a 2K real quickly. Looking very beautiful on this bug. You have to pin this out if you're the side of East Bay. I was saying this was going to be a problem. And he's going to be going absolutely rampant right up to the spawn doors of East Bay.
Yeah, I mean, if you decided East Bay, like what? You had that opportunity to ban out the Bucky, but you opted in to ban out the Psylocke, and it's proven to be a mistake. And if you decided Carlton, you were able to ban out the Bucky from the side of East Bay, and now they're not going to play it. Now Muhammad is going on, incoming the ultimate from Blind. Gets 2! Both supports are going to go down for the side of Carlton. What is your response? Blind is going to be left with 10 health. Hamster's able to kill him. Your side of Carlton, you are losing. Muhammad goes down to Bam Bam on the Phoenix switch. And now they're getting pushed back from the side of Carlton. That Bam Bam able to clean up both the Magneto and Jake Bobo on the Storm. You called it. Yeah. Blind was holding his ultimate for quite a while, but he was able to put it to use now in the last minute, in the last fight. Now, if you're side of Carlton, you are right there to the point, but you do have a minute 50, just under a minute 50 on the clock. How do you respond? You do have a few ults coming up. You have almost 4 of your ults coming up online. If you're the side of East Bay, you have to play a little bit carefully.
See, the problem is you have to get these ults in order to use them. You know, they're going to have these ults already available from the side of Carlton. Going to have that Storm ult available. The Cloak and Dagger ult is going to come through. The Invisible Woman ult is going to be used in return along with the Punisher ult. However, Terrence is able to get 2. It's going to shut down the Punisher ult. It's absolutely massive here. Oh my gosh, the Storm ult is used on the point. There's a Venom ult in retaliation from the Venom from the side of East Bay, but going to be shut down too quickly from Muhammad here. And it looks like Cloak and Dagger ult is going to come through, doesn't even get the touch. A minute and 9 seconds from Carlton on the full cap. East Bay just kind of... The problem is that with Ultimates and Marvel Rivals, you gain them so fast, but East Bay is just so afraid to use them in these situations. They need to go first with their ultimates. They have them available to them. They held that Cloak and Dagger ult, and they held that Doctor Strange ult for a very long time, and they had multiple opportunities to maybe even out a fight with it. You know, you do pop ults from the side of Carlton. Even if you do go second, you still have them available. You can even out a fight if an ultimate is used. You know, you do, if you see like if you see the Bucky ult be popped and you have the Strange ult, just use it and stop him from getting any more Kraken damage. You know, but they're just playing too slow.
We do see some changes coming in through for both teams. On the side of Carlton, we are going to see Muhammad switching to the Daredevil, and Jake Bobo is actually taking up the role of playing Bucky. Interesting. He's now off the Storm. There is no more Hurricane the side of Carlton, but now for the side of East Bay, you have Blind, who was the tank last time on the Iron Man, and actually Olazi is going to be playing Strange this time.
There's no way I can do this without him.
Yeah, very interesting swaps coming through here. I think the Iron Man is definitely a character of all time that is being run right now. I don't know if it's the best thing in the world, especially into that Bucky, if you were able to hit your shots, which I think Jake is capable of doing. We did see it from the Psylocke, but we're going to have to see if he's got it also on the Bucky. See if he can maybe do more than Muhammad. But Muhammad on that Daredevil is something that I have not been able to see at all. I think it happened like one time on an opening fight, and then from there on out, it wasn't played very much. Muhammad is able to get kill onto the Iron Man already. Huge kill. I mean, I don't even know how you get that from the side of Muhammad. Kind of disgusting when you think about it. Luna's able to get the kill onto the Venom. And it looks like this Daredevil is going to run straight onto the back line, get a lot of damage going through, but not going to be able to find any kills. He's going to just take this top left area. Look at this Iron Man who just
Through the wall.
has no chance of winning. Oh my gosh, the Daredevil is just making sure this Iron Man is shot out of the sky like a game of Duck Hunt.
Yeah, if you're the side of Carlton, you must be enjoying this like really high right now. And Mahomes gonna go in and dive with the backline. He looks at the Moonlight. He's unable to kill anyone. He does have to do support with him. He's unable to find a kill, but he is able to get back safely to his team. Now, if you like the side of Carlton, they do have Cracking Impact online, and East Bay does have the Invis coming out with the Moon Knight ultimate online as well.
Huge ultimate abilities available from both sides. You know, it's honestly, with how much damage Mohammed is doing, he's actually not getting that much all charge. Only going to be at around 70% and going to be taken out here. The Moon Knight is really low. Kraken Impact is not going to be able to connect on anybody. Going to miss the Moon Knight just barely. Going to also now be in such a rough position. Going to be taken out from Lazzy on that range here. I don't know if you want to pop any more ults here if you're the side of Carlton. Maybe it's winnable if you pop this Luna Snow ult to keep your team alive. However, with Luna going down, it is going to be a backup here from the side of Carlton. A lot of damage getting pumped out from this Moon Knight, and it's going to be pretty dominant. Jake is going to swap over to the Punisher now, going to have that team up available. Oh my god, blind going down again is so bad actually. And it looks like, I mean, Bambran is trying to get more value off of this Moon Knight. Going to have 87 to another ult. You can maybe use this through a choke if you need to guarantee the point cap. But we'll just have to see what they want to do. Okay, wow, Juice Tadpole just explodes on impact. Oh, they capped.
Carlton are unable to touch. East Bay was able to cap there. Carlton unable to touch. Juice Tadpole was going in before he got melted, as you said. And Muhammad gets two. Get one on the hook.
Oh my god, Muhammad with a 3K on the Daredevil. Wow, that's so impressive inside of Muhammad. You know, he's able to get so much value onto the backline, and honestly, with the side of East Bay, their backline is so killable. You know, you have that freeze, you have that cloak, like teleport, but it's not going to do anything against the Man Without Fear. Gonna have this ultimate available to them. Gonna be looking at this Moon Knight pretty hard. Oh, maybe gets a kill off rip. Gonna be taking so much damage, however, but the Deflecta is gonna come through here. Oh, he's going to be taken out from Bambran, however. So it looks like Juice Tadpole is going to be going into this backline alone. Going to be frozen, going to be having to force his overshield already, but be able to get out with his life to tell the tale. And it looks like East Bay is going to be able to get some foothold going and get this part moving along.
Okay, Dagger is going to come out from the side of Carlton. Oh, the slam from Mr. Hampton comes out on the Inviswoman. The Iron Man wasn't able to find anyone. He was probably looking for the Broken Dagger, but Mr. Hampton was able to use his ult coming in. Look, they get two supports, and that's a cleanup. That's cleanup from the side of East Bay.
Yeah, it was pretty rough, you know, losing your Invisible Woman who had that ultimate available. However, with the Luna ult and the Moon Knight ult from the side of East Bay, they are able to manage to win that fight and get this push continuing to go forward. Halfway to point now, you have some ults available. This Daredevil ult is available, but I'm not sure how strong this actually will be. This Venom is getting poked out here from the side of Carlton. This Punisher is doing a lot of damage, trying to make sure that he's not able to freely roam around. But it's, oh my gosh, so much damage getting put onto Bambran right now. This Punisher is just nailing shots right now. Gonna have this Punisher ult available. Daredevil ult is gonna come through here, gonna be doing a lot of damage onto a lot of players. However, the Invisible Woman ult is gonna come through here, not gonna be able to find any kills. Punisher ult is available if they decide to use it. However, you're gonna be taking it so incredibly low. Blind is able to finish off the kill. The Venom is also gonna be dropping down, and it looks like the Iron Man is actually doing wonders right now, being able to get this forward movement, and the cap is so close, 70 meters, 0.70 meters left, and the maximum pulse is going to come through.
Oh,
Muhammad is going to be taken. Muhammad is going to take down Blind back onto that Bucky. I mean, you have the Venom going to be taken out. It's so rough from the side of East Bay. Maybe if they can kill this Punisher, but it's not going to be able to happen just yet. Two ults are going to die from the side of East Bay. 1 minute and 42 left, and you do have both your tank ults left if you are the side of East Bay, but I mean, okay, at least Carlton doesn't have any ults of their own, so that is going to be something that you're looking forward to from the side of East Bay, but you just have to use your ultimates to win this fight, secure this point, and get to this opportunity of tying it up and going into extra rounds.
What a hold from Carlton, though. I thought East Bay had that point with the Iron Man ult coming to counter Luna Faye, but Muhammad was able to shut it down before it could take off. And I don't want to jinx anything, but this was a similar position we saw Matadors Black and Montana. They were at this stalemate with very little time left on the clock, and Blind's gonna be pushed back on the Iron Man. He's very low health. A building collapses on him. And going to Aya Agamotto. He gets
it's
2,
so
3
large.
on the side. It's a 4 for Bam Bam. Really cracking impact from Muhammad. Unable to find anyone. He gets 3 marks, but unable to clean it. And that is a point capture for the side of East Bay Falcons. They do get a time refresh. They are now sitting at 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes.
Wow, a huge Eye of Agamotto to guarantee that point. Connects onto pretty much everybody, and the Moon Knight damage output is going to be able to secure the kills there. Oh my god, look how much damage the Moon Knight is doing right now. Not going to be able to find a kill, but being able to get this much poke damage, already forcing out cooldowns and such, is going to force them back through this, like, I don't know, is it a portal kind of thingy? The Venom is going to be into this backline now, however, going to be frozen. The Overkill is going to be used. Moon Knight is going to come through from this choke. The Punisher is shooting at him. He just doesn't seem to care whatsoever. Actually, the Punisher is going to be taken out from the Iron Man. Blind is doing wonders on this Iron Man also, so they are going to have so much damage. Juice jumps off the map on Thor. That's quite interesting to say the least. And it looks like Bam Brain is going to fall as well. Had that grapple available, just didn't pop it. And it looks like Carlton might be able to hold it here if the Venom goes down. Oh, going to be so incredibly low. Not going to go down, however. Blind is going to have this ultimate available, but going to be taken out from Muhammad. But Blind is able to get the kill onto the Cloak and Dagger before they are dropped. But the hook in is going to probably guarantee despite loss from East Bay. As long as you don't have another death there yet. Oh, Luna ult is popped from the side of Carlton. I don't know if you really needed that. I think East Bay were probably already backing up. However, they're going to mirror with their own Luna ult. Despite being down a tank right now, you have this maximum pulse. There's a maximum pulse going to be popped. So you're not going to be able to cap on anything. The mag ult is going to be... The Kraken impact is going to be huge. Going to be connecting onto 4 people. Triple kill from the side of Muhammad. He's doing absolute wonders with his Kraken impact. And they're finally going to be able to get this hold stabilized. 43 seconds left.
Great reaction from Ham to the discipline to hold his ultimate until the Iron Man ultimate. He recognized that that is a threat for the team and for the Luna in general. He was able to hold it. East Bay is going to portal here onto high ground in front of Muhammad. Muhammad's going to get one. They take out Bam Bam. Then comes the Invis almost from the side of the East Bay Falcons. And right now they're just kind of stalemating.
Yeah, the Invisible Woman ult is going to be popped through, so nobody's going to be taken out just yet, but they're not able to find any value off of it. No kills are going to come through from East Bay. The Venom is going to be ulting into the backline, going to be applying that anti-heal onto a lot of players. However, nobody's going to go down just yet. The Phoenix ult is going to come through, going to try to go into the backline, going to be able to get the kill onto Moon Fortune, and Blind is going to be taken out next. Muhammad is able to get the kill onto Lazzy. It is overtime now. You don't have any ults available from the side of East Bay, and I think that's going to be all that she wrote. East Bay not being able to cap,
They
gonna
don't
go
have a portal
down
online.
0-2, no portal available either, so that's just gonna be it. That's gonna be wraps.
That is game for Carlton.
I mean,
What
no words to be
a
said.
match.
You were right. You were right about score. 2-0 from the side of Carlton. Played really well. I gotta give a lot of credit to the DPS of Carlton. Mohammed again, MVP
now.
on his Bucky. Well, no, he didn't get MVP last time. I'm sorry, that was
No,
Jake.
now
But,
both
I mean,
supports. Sorry, both DPS have
Both
gotten
DPS.
the MVPs.
Yeah, these guys are just going absolutely crazy on this DPS lineup. This Bucky, you know, honestly, whatever they play on is kind of impressive. We saw them play Daredevil for a hot minute, and it was still doing numbers. You know, 31 final blows
Oh my lord!
from the side of Muhammad. 31 is a crazy number to get. Jake is going to get 19 and also going 50-9 and 48-5. Absolutely insane kills from both of the DPS from the side of Carlton. We have to keep an eye out on these people going into the future. You know, I think that the DPS from the side of East Bay tried their best. Bam Brand with 40k damage, 14 final blows, and Blind with 15 final blows and 26k damage, but they just were dying so much. I mean, look, you see Blind with 17 deaths, Bam Brain with 12, you know, being taken out so easily, so often, going to be really hindering East Bay. So we'll have to see if they can regroup for the next game and, you know, potentially maybe beat another team. I think it is definitely winnable from the side of East Bay. I think they have the potential, but man, Muhammad and Jake just did absolute wonders from the side of Carlton.
Yeah, and not to brag, but that is my second correct prediction on my first stream here at CRS. I was able to correctly predict Matadors getting the win, and that they did. And now Carlton, granted my bias showed through, but they were able to pull through. And like you said, the DPS for Carlton, Muhammad and Jake Bobo, pulling through 31 finals, as you mentioned, and 19, nothing to sleep at. They were cleaning house. Now, but from the side of East Bay, credit where credit's due. the blind switching to Iron Man, although we first discredited it, it was proving to be a little bit of a handful. But unfortunately, I don't think he was able to make much use of his ultimate. He did get shut down multiple a time from Hamter, from Muhammad, and from many others.
I mean, yeah, it's, I think it was a good showing from both. Even though it was a 2-0, I think that the match was a lot closer than we have it, pan out to be. I don't think, I mean, the first map, it was kind of a stomp once Carleton was able to get the attack going after they were able to hold after the first point. But I think both teams played really well. I think that both teams have the potential to go big. You just have to even out some things, work on some stuff, practice more, focus on your bans. I think we got to talk about the fact that East Bay didn't ban out the Bucky a single time, and I think that was something that they definitely needed to do. I mean, I don't know if it would have mattered because it looks like that Muhammad has a daredevil on him, but it's something that we have to consider, and it's something that we have to look at if you are the side of East Bay, looking at these bans. But I mean, it was, despite it being a 2-0, you do see the scores right there, 2-1, 3-2. I mean, just a neck and neck endeavor. Carleton only had a minute left when they capped onto Spider Islands. But I mean, they just weren't able to finish the job. Ultimate usage was a little lacking from the side of East Bay. But I know they have the potential, and, shout out to the players for trying their absolute best. I know they'll have it next week.
Yeah, for sure. I do definitely think this was a very, very intense series for us. Although it was a 2-0 in the side of Carleton, as you said, 2-1, 3-2, they did prove for some very exciting and action-packed fights here.
I believe we have an interview available to us, and I think we'll throw that over. We have with us. Hello. I like your background.
Hi.
First of all. Hello, Mr. Hamter. Welcome in. Very, very fancy dorm. How are you feeling after that win? It was a pretty
good. I mean, it was obviously very exhilarating, especially at the end there. Kind of that neck and neck on that final point. We were kind of just dropping everything, trying to get everything out. Make sure we were cleaning them up, but. Thanks to our incredible DPS and supports, and then my tank duo Tadpole over there, we able to squeak out the win.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a lot about Muhammad on the Bucky, able to get a lot of value off of Kraken. Jake on the Psylocke in the first map, doing absolute wonders, and also going to be, the second map. I mean, Tadpole also did numbers on the Venom themselves, so, shout out to all of the players. What is your guys' thought process going into next week? I mean, you guys looked really strong going against this team. Are you guys feeling more confident in your next matchup? Or are you guys, being a little hesitant, not letting the ego quite get to you guys just yet?
I think obviously we are going to be, that bit more confident, kind of seeing these wins, but we definitely also have to recognize, at the end of the day, this is one match. The next match is a completely different one. However we were doing previously doesn't influence how we're going to do in the next one. So I think kind of keeping that level-headedness, making sure we know going into it, we could lose or win this. Let's try our best to win it is probably the most important mentality we could have.
Yeah, definitely. I do want to ask Mr. Hamter, what is the how did you enable or get enabled by your team? For example, Mohammed, Jake Bobo, Oozle, or Luna Faye. I know a lot of times you're relying on your supports or DPS to clean house, and you as a tank, you're holding the front line. But how walk me through that a little bit if you could.
Yeah, so of course, like at the end of the day with tank, my job is to be taking space. So I'm kind of relying to make sure my supports know, all right, when am I going to be moving up? When do I need to pull back for divers, things like that. DPS, obviously, I'm out here trying to make calls of, okay, who are we trying to focus? Who are we trying to go for? And that aspect. So just kind of being that person to make sure the team is all being coordinated and just making sure that everyone is doing their job the most effective they can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys played really well. I believe that you guys have a lot of potential. I mean, Mohammed and Jake, absolute star players. I think you guys all played really, really well. Of course, the DPS, of course, were like the flashy plays, but I think you guys all played individually really well. I think you guys were coordinated very well. I just wanted to ask, like one final question. Do you guys think that you can go all the way?
I mean, obviously, confidence is key. So I do think, yes, we can go all the way. I think we have a very strong lineup of team with our team and how well we've been performing. I think, the support in the back, making sure that even without us peeling, they're making sure that they're staying good for dives. Our DPS just kind of cleaning up house with, like you were saying, all those flashy plays and kind of getting, those big six kills, but the 6 KOs. And then with our tanks, me and Tadpole just kind of holding that front line. I do think we have a chance to make it to the end.
All right, one last question here, Mr. Hamter. Do you want to thank anyone for this win?
I want to thank the team in general. I personally don't think Rivals is anything specific. I think our supports did an absolutely incredible job with the dives. They were running a pretty dive-centric team in that second round there, and they were able to pull it off without me, pulling back too much. So I got to give them credit here. I got to give our DPS credit for just absolutely cleaning house. I'd pop a strange ult, and Muhammad would instantly be on that with Bucky ult, or Jake would immediately be on that with a Psylocke ult, and then to Evander to Tadpole for just kind of enabling me to be that frontline player while he was diving on Venom, or staying up at the front with me while he was playing Mag and I was playing Strange.
And well, thank you, Mr. Hamter, for the interview. It was a pleasure to meet you, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys play in the future. I know you guys can go 100%. All the way.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
That was Mr. Hamter, lovely fellow. I can see why you Carleton folks are all so kind. But that is going to be it for our Marvel Rivals stream today. That was our 2 matches. I hope that you guys all enjoyed. Taz, it was fun casting with you.
Thank you. Likewise, I had a great time. This is my first CRS stream. I hope to be back next week or subsequent weeks or whenever. But thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. This is my 3rd time. I'm still finding my footing a little bit. But I think that this is, shaping up to be really competitive between all these teams. I think all of these teams have a lot of potential in terms of the talent that they have available, the coordination that they have. So each week gets better and better in terms of maps and in terms of, what we get to see from these players. And as the meta develops and as the meta gets more concrete, we get to see, more characters coming through, a lot of diversity also in the tank. I'm hoping to see, maybe we see an Emma next week, somebody who's not banned 24/7.
Yeah.
But that is going to be it for us. Thank you guys all for watching. It's, an honor to be able to cast and stream to you guys. Without the viewers, there would be no stream. Be sure to drink some water. Be sure to fix your posture, get some good rest, and be sure to tell somebody that you love them. And we will catch you guys all next time.
Thank you.
Don't you know, we all need someone to love, need someone to make it feel like home.